they ever announce it?
Oh, wow, dude. Look at these. So you know how Cause came out with the cereal? They just dropped the actual figures now.
The blueberry is dope.
It's dope, dude. Hey. Hello.
Did you ever find out if that live streaming issue was Facebook being down the other day?
Yeah, sure was. Would he run to the bathroom? They just dropped those, bro, like on the 12th.
$600
No, 300.
for a set or for each figure?
Each figure. Always a day late, dollar short on that stuff, dude. Feel like I should have just played this, and I don't know why I thought it was only like a couple minutes long. It's like 8 minutes long.
Let's share it.
I don't think there's any sound on that, bro. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jay Banks. Thanks for watching about 5 minutes of no sound. I'm working on it, man. I'm trying to get here. All right. So everything we do is like all YouTube University. So we,
Yep.
we pick and choose the battles, and then we learn from our mistakes. What's up, AI? How you feeling?
How we doing? I'm feeling good, man. I'm I'm really interested to see what happens with this Bengals free agency. I'm anxious to get to talking about that because some crazy stuff's happening in Cincinnati right now, and we're not even sure how when the smoke clears what's going to happen. But yeah, man. But it was really huge shout out to Deuces though. I want we were talking about the video with sound issues and everything, and those things happen, technical difficulties. But a huge shout out to Deuces, man. He creates some amazing content, and at the end of the day, like people like him that are so active in the community and so so forward thinking and really put out for their community. Someone like him, I have mad respect for, and this Art of series is it's been an honor to be a part of it. Is the Art of Interactive Retail. Hey, what up? What up?
What up, man?
Hey, more welcome to join us, man. Yeah.
Hold on, we gotta open the door for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in the middle of recording now, but the 7-Up door is not the pressure pad. I think the battery's dying on it. The ship's sinking, bro.
Hey, just technology, man.
Every 2 years, you just got to fix everything.
You just got to fix things, right?
It's just like I was telling Jan, bro. Like everything's like maintenance. Like you got to just treat everything in your life like a car. You know what I mean? Like preventative maintenance. Even when it comes down to your coffee maker, bro. Like you got to do the little things that you don't want to do.
Yep.
You know, clean them out.
Maintenance.
Yeah.
Your car will not run if you do not get an oil change and you do not take care of the tires and take care of all the little intricacies of driving a vehicle. Like if you drive the car until the oil completely runs out, or you drive until the tires are balded and have no grip when a winter comes or when things happen and all of a sudden your car malfunction, it's not working properly. I mean, my car has some weird computer issues, but like it's strange because like it works perfectly fine until the computer kind of like messes up. And I think the computer, it's directly attached to like when I turn my heat on, like certain things that I do, it just starts kind of acting funky. So sometimes I don't even like mess with it because it'll say like, it'll give me a message and the check engine light will come on. I'm like, all right, well, and then I'll turn my car off, turn it back on, and it'll be off. It'll work totally fine for weeks.
Sounds like a damp cord.
There's something small, I swear, because it's not even. It doesn't affect the driving. The driving's fine. It doesn't have any effect in it.
But that's
just technology.
That's just like the DTG, man. You got to do preventative maintenance with it. You know what I mean? You got to make sure that you don't wait until the problem gets here. You got to just keep cleaning it, make sure that it's a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, literally. But we got on the couch. We got Brandon Savage. What's up, my dude?
Hello.
How we doing?
Not bad. Can't complain.
Yeah.
Some good people, so, I mean, things could always be worse.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And we got the podcast working again, man. Last Tuesday, if you guys tried tuning in, I apologize. So last Tuesday, Facebook went down. They logged everybody out.
Strange.
Yeah.
No explanation. I still don't think we've gotten one.
No. And so when, I was able to log back into my Facebook pretty easily. I remember my passwords and stuff. But when we got on the podcast, Streamlabs is tied into Facebook, and then Facebook dumps everything out, through there. So we weren't able to log in for some reason. So we recorded last week's episode. We just didn't get to air it. So 206 is in the books. It's just a hidden episode until we have a chance to release it out there.
Yeah, it'll come out. It'll come out sometime, like the Mystery 206.
For sure.
It was a fun conversation, though. I mean, I think every time we get together here, we're the type of people that tries to stay active in everything that we do. So every week is something new. So we always have something that we're striving for and something to talk about and tell the world about, whether it's music related, because I got a little bit of news for today, and or art related. We've always got news about that, or sports, like the Bengals free agency that's going crazy right now.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, could it happen? I sure hope so.
Right.
But we'll see.
It's just one of those things, man. It was like last Tuesday was the day that our video got put out there. You know what I mean? So it was the day that we were going to have Deuces on, and we were going to promote the Art of series, the interactive retail.
Yep.
And shout out to Cincinnati Public Radio for getting all that together. Illico Media as well. Those guys did a killer job on.
Dude, he's so good.
Yeah.
Nick's so good.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Nick and Fabio, man.
Yeah, man.
They're like a dynamic
Fabio, he'll
duo.
stop by at the store pretty often. He'll stop by through and I'm like, what's up, dude?
Yeah.
He's
I love his style, bro. Like,
Me too.
I liked that he wanted that Marlboro native sweatshirt we did.
Yeah,
Like, hell yeah. I'll make that for you, bro. Let's go. But yeah, dude, this whole Bengals thing is pretty wild, man. They I've even got my cousins from Chicago talking about Justin Jefferson was in Cincinnati today. So the word's out there, obviously, and I don't know how people get this info so quick. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's like the people that are tied into the Bengals, possibly, that are like, oh, Justin Jefferson's swinging by the Cincinnati today. But it's like half of Facebook right now is like, oh, he's out hanging out with Joe Burrow. And then, of course, Jamar Chase drops a little cryptic message on IG that says this would be the craziest story to tell.
Yeah.
Which obviously the craziest story to tell is 3 college kids get the national championship. They all go to the NFL, end up on the same team years later, and then win a Super Bowl. Let's go, dude.
I'm pretty sure in the same place.
What do you mean?
I think the Super Bowl in '59 is going to be where LSU won it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That would be crazy.
I'm telling you, the NFL loves stories, dude.
I mean, it's almost
NFL
like
loves stories,
like
bro.
the
They love
simulation thing is in our face, bro, and they just we just keep denying it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah.
So where's the Super Bowl being played at?
It would be hold on, New Orleans. Super Bowl. But I think the whole thing is the fact that the LSU connection between Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Joe Burrow, that just screams like a movie being made about this.
Oh, for sure.
You know
dude.
what I mean? Like, because all these LSU fans are all Bengals fans now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. People coming here like, we're LSU fans, but we're Bengals fans because we've always followed Burrow. We're gonna follow him wherever. And Jamar Chase, so like they've got a whole second fan base, not even anywhere near Cincinnati, that are what's up?
Yeah, I mean, but that's the crazy thing about being,
New Orleans.
a fan of college sports, right? All right,
Hey.
a fan of college sports. You've got, you're rooting for your team, but these players are only there for 4 years, and then they're jumping off to other cities and other teams. But for 3 major players like that, all to end up on the same team, it's 100% a story, dude.
Story, yeah, it's story from the gate. But yeah, Super Bowl 59 is to be played on. Super Bowl 59 is to be played on February 9th, 2025 at Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Super Bowl.
Is that like Little Caesars?
No, Caesars Superdome. Maybe, I don't know. Like maybe.
No, I'm sure that's probably Caesars, like Caesars Palace.
But that would be in Vegas, right?
Well, I mean, they could
They could have
yeah, they can definitely pay the rights to.
But the home field of the New Orleans Saints. But it's just the fact that LSU. They played, they got the championship there. And like going back, it would be crazy to win a Super Bowl.
It'd be insane.
It would
dude.
just be, it would be absolutely bonkers. And then, just to think like history would be that heavy. You're talking like legendary status, on every account that they're like seriously. If that were to happen, Burrow is just. It's crazy. I can't even put into words, honestly, because like Burrow would. Because you got to think, Burrow has overcome so much, and all these injuries and everything that all the accumulation of everything we're building up for this one season to put all these people into place for it all to play out like that, and then you got to go through, bad guy Mahomes. Now he's probably gonna be the villain in the story because they have to have a story.
Man, the fucking villain is Lamar now with Derrick Henry, bro.
Yeah, that's another one, Lamar Jackson, man, and that's what's crazy.
That scares me.
Yeah, that also it's alarming that Derrick Henry chose a place where he doesn't have to run all the time, and I think it's really smart on Derrick Henry's in his case because he doesn't have to run as much because Lamar's going to run a lot,
right?
So he really gets to protect his body. Meanwhile, getting serious yardage because who gets the ball? I'm not sure. Like the wide receivers, I mean they're all right, but like on the running sense, they're the best running team in the league.
Right.
And then you throw Derrick Henry, they're already the best running team. They already were.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, like the Falcons, the Eagles, and the Ravens. Those two are like running to crazy because Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts are both running quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But then you throw Derrick Henry. Saquon Barkley is now for the Eagles.
Yeah.
So that team just elevated.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not forget they're on the NFC and stuff, but like let's not forget Saquon Barkley just left the New York Giants, stayed within the division to join the Philly Eagles. Whew.
Yeah.
I mean,
he got some hate for that one.
Oh, he did. Yeah, Tiki Barber. You're dead to me.
Yeah.
That's what Tiki Barber said. You're dead to me. That is. I mean, Saquon Barkley has put all his time into the Giants, and they're not bringing him a Super Bowl.
Right.
The Eagles have a much better chance.
Oh, for sure.
Bringing a Super Bowl and getting better yards, and he doesn't have to put his body on the line because it's the same thing with Lamar Jackson. Because Jalen Hurts is going to run half the time because he can.
Right.
So it saves his body. Derrick Henry and Saquon Barkley definitely had people like, hey, you don't have to run as much now.
It's got to be such a like things like that you don't realize either, like a running back going to a different team where you're looking at somebody like Lamar Jackson where it's like, okay, like they're not going to have to if the quarterback's in a pinch, it's gonna come to me as an outlet pass every single time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like my quarterback can figure his way out.
Exactly.
And I'll be there.
It's not up to me. Like where it was up to Saquon Barkley in New York. It was up to
Right.
him. He was the guy. And then in Tennessee, definitely Derrick Henry. I mean, definitely. You knew most of the play call was going to be running.
Right.
Every time. Like, that's why you pick Derrick Henry up in fantasy football. You're going to get extra points just because half the plays have to go to him.
Right.
So now that's not the case.
Yeah.
Now Derrick Henry's looking pretty. He's getting there like, I'm behind Lamar Jackson. Play action to Derrick Henry's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. So you think how do you feel about Joe Mixon being released?
I'm bummed because Joe Mixon brought a certain energy to the city. I kind of was thinking Joe Mixon would kind of find his way as a 1-2 back punch rather than being the number one. I thought that he'd kind of naturally come down and they would pick someone up like a Derrick Henry or an Austin Eckler or Aaron Jones or one of these guys that were on the market. I thought they would kind of go hand in hand, and then Chase Brown would become third. But I think now they're going to elevate Chase Brown, put Zach Moss as the number 2. Then our boy Travion Williams, who got a contract extension. Shout out, dude. Shout out, Travion, man. Appreciate you. And but yeah, congrats on that extension. You earned it, dude. You went out there and you proved yourself. You got your money on your merit, and nothing but respect for that man. He does a lot. He teaches people how to fix their credit. He does video, and he runs football in the National Football League as a running back or halfback is what they have him listed as. But but yeah, it's like the thing with the current NFL running backs don't get the respect that they really should get.
Right.
And these players are all getting good money now. They're all getting good money. Because you only get so much of the pie. But the cap has now been extended $30 million. So now there's more money to give, more money on the table. Even Patrick Mahomes is restructuring his deal right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he's restructuring it so more of the players can get the money because he took a huge chunk. Just like Burrow got his chunk. All these guys are getting their chunks because they are the cap. They have the ball every single down. You know what I mean?
Right.
They need to have that money. They need to protect their values at the all-time high. You should go get the money. But it also puts the running backs out. So the running backs have to strive for getting the payday. They have to put a lot more into that. So really happy to see all these running backs getting that though. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what the Bengals do in the running back situation. Do they go out and make another move? Do they get someone in the draft? There might be a few more names out there they might be able to pick up, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in our backfield. But Joe Mixon heading to the Houston Texans in a trade, so I hope he does well there. Teaming up with C.J. Stroud there in Houston, so pretty excited to see that for him because huge fan of Joe Mixon. Sad to see him go, but I mean, NFL is one of those leagues where you can be replaced overnight, and it's a hard league to be in. And they saw value elsewhere that could elevate our team more, and they wanted to go a different direction. But Joe do just fine. He'll crush it wherever he goes. He's that kind of guy. So appreciate what you did for the city, though, man. Cincinnati is a better place since you played here. For sure,
man. He did bring a lot of life and fun to the area, bro.
Man, his birthday party was crazy.
Oh, it's
the
always
all-white
crazy.
Party was crazy. So,
I've got a photo of Bengal Jim at an all-white party in Miami, bro. He literally was standing there wearing the all-black Harambe shirt. And it was a white party, so it was all black lights, and the whole back lit was nothing but white shirts, and then it's just him wearing all black. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
That's
dude.
fire.
That's what I'm. Yeah, bro. Oh, speaking of Bengal Jim, July 20th down here in Newport.
My birthday.
Yeah. Happy early birthday.
It's a ways away.
Yeah,
but we'll get there.
Yeah, but I was the first one to tell you. So
That's
what's
true.
up?
Yeah, you got way ahead of time.
But yeah, so July 20th, it's going to be the Bengal Jam down there at Megacorp, right here in Newport. Newport on the levee sponsoring it too, which is incredible, man. For them to sponsor an event that's going to be on another property just shows that the levee's really trying to get out there, and they're trying to expand and really just bounce the ball in Newport, because there's a lot to do down here for sure, man.
Oh yeah, people are starting to started to realize that I'm this last weekend I was talking to some people that were coming through, and they're like, yeah, we haven't been in levy in a few years. And I was like, yeah, welcome to the new levy, the new era of things, all local businesses. And I explained it, and they're like, I don't think I've ever seen it this cool. This is just something that I think the player out here had a big something to do with that conversation. They had kids, but they were like super surprised that this was even like this. Like, I didn't even realize this was even in here. They went to the aquarium like a month earlier, but when they came in here, they're like, this is a whole new world. Yeah. I was like, yeah, the new levy, we're here. They're like, we're going to tell everyone, we have a pretty big family. We're going to bring everyone down. Are you allowed to do picnics out here? And I was like,
yeah, you can bring your own food. Yeah.
And they're
bring
like,
your dog, bring your cat.
Bring your dog. We have a dog bowl, man.
Yeah. You know what else is crazy? What I've realized, the cornhole, man. They've brought the cornhole boards in like over a year ago, and they were somewhat used, like not too often. Now that they got it on the grass, like there's a wait list. It's like as soon as one person's done playing, the next group comes up and starts using it.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's consistent. It's crazy to think that all you needed was just a section. You know what I mean? Like, don't just put it out there on the concrete. Actually, put it in the grass, and all of a sudden, it's a part of the.
It feels like with a structure, people want to be a part of it.
Yeah.
It looks like there's a structure to it. It's right inside the white of the grass area. There's a line, and like it looks like it belongs there. And it also is a part of the section. You know what I mean? And it's under the TV, so people can watch. They don't feel interrupted. People up here playing like full-on competitions. The other day, there were people, they played each other, and they played each other. And I was like, wow. I was sitting out here, it was a Sunday, and I'm just kind of like organizing the store and doing my thing. And I see him like, we won. You're up. You're going against him. And I was like, there's a competition going on here.
Yeah.
Like, that's cool. That, that would never have happened prior. The Emerson over here, they barely got used.
Right.
If anything, the bags ended up in the above. Like, some people were throwing them up there on these like bars and stuff, So,
it's just little things that Newport in Newport on the Levee that they're doing. That's just it's really just it's starting to show for sure. But that event, there's going to be over 20. So far, they've got over 20 future and former Bengals players, or not future
players.
Yeah. And then they've got another 20 that they're trying to sign right now that are in talk. So, whenever Bengal Gym throws an event, that it's 100% Cincinnati based. It's got everybody that you can think of. Obviously, Kenny Anderson and. Ted Karras and all those guys, they'll be there as well. Trent Irwin will be there. But and it will be there. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, we'll be in the building.
Oh, we will be,
selling some stuff as well. So it's going to be a good time, man. So tickets are available. If you just go to Bengal Gym's Facebook page, we'll have like a QR code link down here where you can purchase the tickets as well. We're going to do whatever we can to help Bengal Gym and the event out for sure.
Yeah, man. Bengal Gym is, we did this event last year for Chase Brown, and that's how Voices of America came to be.
Yep.
So certain things, connected. I'd love to be a part of all of his events because the best vibes and all the people that come down are super, they're super
Cincinnati, dude.
Yeah, man, they're just
super
all
Cincinnati.
That's really what it is. The people don't know the passion and like the hospitality, and people just always very positive and welcoming. It's just always a good time. Every event like we've been a part of with Bengal Gym, and anytime he comes down to the levee, he comes down to 16 lots pretty often.
Oh, yeah.
Which they're back to opening up again, March 15th.
Hell yeah.
Yep, 16 lots will be open.
Congratulations, fellas.
Yeah, definitely. Congratulations, Dell, man. You guys have worked really hard to, make the dream a reality, and a lot of things to overcome, in our current landscape of the economy. But you are doing that, and opening back up March 15th.
Yeah.
Grand reopening. They're gonna have the music going, the kitchen back open. Everything's gonna be back to the way it was this last year or so that they've been trying to just pivot, because it's definitely a new world we're stepping into. We've stepped into a whole new economy, a whole new set of post-pandemic things that people are doing that they weren't doing before that. Everyone acts different, and it's just a new way of living.
Yeah.
And we've all had to navigate it and pivot every step of the way. We've done it here at Native, and they're doing it there, and the Levy's doing it as we see the marketing is, in the promotion, and it's taking another step up. And excited to see what happens. And hopefully we get some more Bengal events on the Levy. If you know what I mean, like some of these new players that are coming in, like come down, let's podcast.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think that was one of the reasons why the Levy was so apt to jump on anything that Bengal Gym does. It's like, if they can get their hand in the door, the spot here is perfect for any type of event. Speaking of April 4th, we're gonna have or is it April 5th? The FIFA tournament. There's a soccer tournament coming down here.
Yes.
To Velocity. So it's going to be, I think FC Cincinnati's involved now. We're trying to get Ocho Cinco down here to play as well. But it's going to be a FIFA tournament where there's a buy-in, and then there's winners get paid out pretty well. I'm not sure what exactly still waiting on everything from Velocity.
Yeah, the details. Yeah, that'll be really cool, man. Like I really hope that this FIFA tournament leads to an array of other, series of tournaments with other games.
For sure.
Because I'd love to get that we've talked about that Fortnite tournament. I think that would be really cool, and see if we get some homies involved to talk about their experience with Fortnite and stuff like that. I think that there's a lot of room with this big screen at the Levy to really make the most of it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, and they're able to use the big screen, so it's going to be on the screen here and outside as well. So even if you're inside Velocity, in the middle of the tournament, it's going to be played throughout the Levy, which is cool. I'm sure they'll have the sound on the whole nine. So, and that's something we've been trying to push for a while too, man. That's one of those things where it's like, we have these big jumbo screens. It's like, how do we utilize these in ways that make sense for everybody?
Yeah.
And then Velocity has, 20 gaming computers all set up, top of the line computers, top of the line chairs, the whole nine. So you can have like an entire tournament set up down there. So, we're connecting the dots. We're figuring it all out. And every week it's getting a little bit more fun down here at the Levy for sure.
Yeah, it's yeah. What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say you guys were mentioning they were having a live Fortnite event. That's one interesting series, because that's definitely where I'm more dabbling is gaming side for esports and stuff like that. That's one series that I hate to see bleeding so much money for as far as sponsors and stuff go, because I feel like every time I see an event local to here, or anyone, I went out to Florida recently and they had a live esports event that it was just a watch party for a team. So the whole you come out, you're watching the team live on the big screens, all that stuff's super enjoyable. It's just about getting the right crowd, having the right guy to come on your mic and provide some humor between your games. But I feel like people come out and will just spend money on tickets, event merchandising, but it's weird for me because it's something like baseball, basketball, those ones are perfectly fine. But that's one industry that right now it's just trucking through. If you want to have esports, you own that stuff, it's just a bleeding money industry right now, which feels kind of crazy, because I feel like we definitely had an uphill period, but maybe that was during COVID when everybody had expendable income, and now we're back to the ones everybody's back at home. But it feels like one event that everybody can participate in. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody knew about Travis Scott did a live concert in Fortnite. There were so many people, it didn't matter. That was COVID. That was definitely COVID, but you could still attend a concert live, but you were from home. So definitely it was just kind of tying into transition stuff that you mentioned, but I feel like that's a sport that goes well. But it's more of the younger generation's really hopping onto that right now, which was just crazy to me that I see it bleeding money as much as it is. But I guess when I look at any other sports history, they all started that way, where it was just started as people in their backyard doing it for fun, or people at home playing gaming for fun, and then people get good at that stuff and they say, well, if you're real good at this and people want to watch, throw money at it. Yeah.
There's streamers that are out there. The streamers out there that are bringing entertainment while playing a game at the same time. They're pretty funny. I've seen a few of them. I've just dabbled in watching streamers play and stuff, and just trying to find the ones that have the most humor and creative and intelligent conversation while they're playing, and being really creative with it. And I think there's definitely something there. It's just about how invested you are in the game and how you view it. Some people don't want to watch someone play it; they just want to play it themselves. And then there's little homies my friend's nephew. he just sits down and watches the games the whole day. That's all he does. That's his entertainment, is watching
Yeah.
other people play games.
I think
So like there is someone there. I mean, he's a little dude. He's like 8, but doesn't matter. There is a view, and YouTube knows what they're doing. Twitch. There's these places know what they're doing, and they're promoting them in a scale as much as they can, because like it's really about how big the game is, what is the viewership. FIFA is a game that so many people are playing right now. It is literally, I mean, soccer is blowing up, especially here in Cincinnati with this kind of a situation where it's going to be FC Cincinnati backed, and because FC Cincinnati has got all the buzz. It's I mean, those games, the lines of people walking to the stadium together, it is quite a sight to see, man. Some friends of mine have been going pretty often. I've been seeing the video on their social media, and it's pretty amazing to see all these people come into one place and collectively going as a positive, happy unit to the stadium to see some of the best players, in the country, right in front of them because of how good, SC Cincinnati is. And you don't have to be the best team, but if you have a city that backs you like that, you can become, like, with that kind of support and that kind of energy, you can hit all new levels, because there's something about the 12th man, that's a huge aspect of sports. When you get into that stadium and the fans are in your back, like in your corner, dude, that support is unlike anything else, man. It really is.
I think that's something that's really interesting as far as like esports go compared to like normal sports. I noticed that a lot of esports teams are very much, instead of being a fan because you're like local, whereas like I'm a fan of Cincinnati because I'm a fan of the Bengals because I'm from Cincinnati. Simple as that. But I'm typically a fan of my favorite esports team because I really enjoy one of the content creators in the group.
For sure.
Because he's very funny, he's very humorous.
Yeah.
And when he hops teams, my favorite team changes. It's really cool when he's on G2 Esports. But when he switched teams because they offer a higher contract, he's now with the natives. And I gotta I follow him because it's what it's for. So,
interesting. Where are the natives based out of?
I don't know. It's just
Okay.
Picking something.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. That would be
So
interesting.
That's a fire name, though.
Dude, we should definitely look into, an esports team sponsored would be pretty cool. I'm just saying. I want to sponsor racing. There's so many cool things that, dude, we've had people that do scooters, shout out Quincy. We've got people that are skaters, shout out Sean Bucci. Those guys that have really put time on the street. But I think that the time in the video game aspect and seeing the growth of it is something we could definitely get behind, and make a cool, like, because they've like, they've got the skins and different things. We can make a cool one, get them all wrapped out, man. Like, there's just stuff that you can do virtually on the internet that you can't really do elsewhere. You can only do it like uniquely there, and I think we could make a really cool. We could really show a cool, cool look and a cool vibe to someone that, because like when you're on the internet, when you're playing the game, people are represented by that character, represented by your car, represented by what you're showing, like in the Rocket League. If you have a cool car in that, like, everyone notices you in those games and whatnot. So stuff like that goes a long way, and for stuff like for us, because once someone sees that skin, they're like, dude, I got to get the Native brand skin. I got to get that, man. And we'll do different colorways, reverse ones, we'll do graffiti ones, we'll do the ones with just the logo, like, just so many different ones, dude. There's so many options, and it's esports. It's the way it's something that's cutting edge, new to a lot of people. Though it's not new in general, but it's new to a lot of people. When they first opened esports Surveyor Velocity, which wasn't that long ago, no one knew what it was. No one had any idea. Like, sports is it? What do you do up here with esports? And like, I had to explain. We had them on the podcast, the guys over there, Devin and them, and it was really just an interesting conversation as learning. And once we learned what they were doing, we were like, all right, we can explain. But I had to answer that question more than anything here at the store. Just what's esports? What even is that?
Yeah, for like 2 straight months.
For 2 months, yeah, it really was. It was. People don't know. They don't know what they don't know.
It gave me that energy when you said earlier. You were like, well, what? Some people enjoy playing the game, some people don't. And I totally get that, but I think that's really funny because that was something that I think my parents were very much like, why do you enjoy sitting there on your phone and watch somebody play a game? And I'm like, you enjoy football, don't you? Well, go outside and play it. Just go invite the guys over. Go play football. He's like, oh, I don't want to. I'm tired and shit. I'm like, yeah, I'm tired. I just want to enjoy the experience because I can still get the same thing. I'm watching a movie for the experience. I don't want to be in a war right now. Like,
Right.
that would be cool to get that feeling to my core that my homie, I lost him, but I'm going to avenge him. But I like to get that cinematically from the comfort of my couch in my home. So
I mean, that's a good analogy, though, is comparing it to watching sports, right? Because it's like, why do you watch somebody play video games? It's like, why do you watch somebody play football? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's an outcome. There's
Yeah.
there's an ending. There's a story. There's
Watching someone better than you play in the game sense too, because if they're better than you and you're not able to achieve their level of success, seeing them play in real time and seeing how they do and how they maneuver on whether it's Call of Duty, Fortnite, FIFA, 2K, Madden, whatever. When you're watching someone play at an expert level and you can't necessarily do that,
it feels unreal. It's the same
right.
when you see somebody just Hail Mary a ball down the field in your breath, you're just holding it. See, is they going to catch it? Is this going to be the game-winning touchdown? It's the moments like that. You see somebody just snap and you're like, oh man, this is it. This is the moment. It's just that same feeling.
Yeah, there's endorphins, everything. Your brain is just like, this is it. Like,
this is the moment.
The cold chills, and when it all comes out and it shakes out and the smoke clears and there's a victory, and you're like, man, I watched that happen. Like, I've been pulling for him, I'm following him, like, because it's really the people behind the game that are making the success happen. But you could follow someone. You're like, hey, I've been following this guy through his journey on Madden, for example, and like he's been going up through the ranks, and now he's playing on a national level at the national championships, and here he is, and I'm watching him on ESPN or whatever, because ESPN they've been known to show esports, and they may not have the best time slot, but they're there.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting the connection that you see, because something like Joe Burrow, everybody's like, oh, I love Joe Burrow. But there's nothing against loving Joe Burrow, but I don't know who that guy is, respectively, at the end of the day, and what he does. I have nothing against him. Yeah, he's cool. I'm glad he supports our team. But when you see like content creators who are also doing esports, I don't know what they are like when they log on online. That's what the personality you put on, which is totally different than who you are outside of it. But it's that personal connection that you feel to the content creators, where like, I see what this dude does hours a day, what he's like in public, what kind of humor he has.
Yeah.
Like, right. I totally get it, but me and Joe Burrow, like, he's really cool, and I would love to, have that experience and have a beer, but we might just have different types of humor.
Yeah,
and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
He might be your homie, and he might be, like, best friends with you guys, and you guys want to hang out, but, like, I'm like, he's got dry humor, or, like, he just says things aren't.
He plays football. That's
so
what he
I respect him in his career, but something about having that personal, like, when just even people like him who post online more, anybody who does stuff online massively and has a big audience, and then also does live, like, events, sports, anything, I feel like that you get the huge fans that are really connected to you. Somebody like Post Malone's a really good example, because I think he posts a lot of his, like, moments where he's out partying, having events with people,
connecting,
stuff like that. So like, people typically know who Post Malone is outside. Like, if you meet Post Malone, you feel like you have a good idea of the guy that you're going to meet. Down to earth, chill, humble, super nice. Every event you've ever seen videoed of him,
bring the Bud Light,
same way. Yeah, same. It's that.
Bring the Bud Light. When I think of him, I think the Bud Light night, like those commercials. Post Malone has Bud Light in my, like,
it's in his blood.
Yeah, but he's going country now. He's going country.
Is he?
Yeah. So
they all are.
They're all going country. Everyone, even Beyonce, everyone's going country, which is, I like it. I mean, I've grown to enjoy it even more since Voices of America, which I'm excited about here this August. We're gonna have a pretty busy summer.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for it.
Me too. Yeah, but it's but Post Malone's going country. They're all going that direction, which I kind of saw Post Malone, because he does have that love for that southern sound. So we'll see how he translate it. Is it going to be pop country, or is he going to go like raw country with it? Is he going to do some, like, acoustic focused song where he's just going southern twang with it, or is he going to go pop country? There's so many ways he could go, really.
I'm really interested. I really like stuff like that, because I feel like it's like when artists can step out of the spotlight while it's still, like, it feels like borderline in their prime. I think that's always interesting, because then they allow, I feel like, the new up and coming content creators to really take the spotlight of who's gonna be the, as some would say, like, the next Post Malone, who's gonna be that, because he's gonna go transition to a new genre, which is totally fine. But he's gonna have the classics. He's gonna always have
Malone. Interesting.
Because I feel like when people because if Post Malone never steps out of the spotlight, there's never going to be like a who's the next Post Malone. When people always, the common phrase is like, oh, this guy was the next Elvis. Because like, when Elvis stepped out of the spotlight, someone's got to
fill the shoes,
So it's always interesting. I like when that happens, especially still in his prime, because he's going to go make banger after banger still. But it's going to be in a new genre where it leaves his genre still open.
Connor Price.
See, I don't even think Connor Price isn't even.
He's not even like Post Malone, but he's definitely his stuff that he's coming out was. I think
he's got a world tour, so he's coming to the States for a bunch of shows, and then he's going to Europe for a bunch of shows. So shout out to Connor Price for making it happen, man. Those are hard shoes to fill, man. When it comes to Post Malone, because he's such a different character. He did it, there's nobody like him.
No
one
one
like
him. I mean? Oh, there's no one like. I mean, yeah, like you said, no offense to Connor Price, as much as he's going to success, he's definitely not Post Malone. But he could Connor could sit in a unique era place himself because he's working with the right people, and he's got the skits. The skits and reels and social media really are taking certain people to new heights, and it's pretty amazing to see it happening in real time. And I only discovered Connor Price not that long ago, and he was just doing the he like spins a glow and he points at a country and he collabs with an artist from that country.
Oh, really?
That's how I discovered it.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was a huge series. That blew him up off the map. All of his shorts.
Literally.
He was a genius in the algorithm.
Yeah.
Like, he was a genius musically, and then he was a genius because he's made music with so much random stuff. He'll just have a little bit of country in one, a little bit of pop in one, a little bit of rock in one, and it's super interesting to hear.
Yeah, he is like that. That was just interesting, traveling the world basically, and spins a globe, and he picks out an artist that fits his vibe or the song, and then they collab, and then now the guy's promoting across the world his music because he's working with people all over the world.
Right.
It's pretty cool. And then he's doing the skits where he like closes the door at his bedroom and then he talks to himself in 3 different outfits. So he's literally running the entire scene by himself in one set and then refilming it in another outfit in another location in the same bedroom and then his producer chair.
That's definitely a huge one online now where like you're filming as all 3 people in your content. The people who just wear wigs is like I'll be like female counterpart. And I don't know what, it's so funny when I feel like I watch enough of those of like especially the same content creator. I still feel like it's 3 different people in a room.
Yeah, they do
all
a
the
good
same
job,
dude, but they built up a personality around their like female counterpart. Like his ex walks in, she's like, "What are you singing about? Bet it's not me." And it's just absolutely drops into a banger. I feel like that's
it's like shock value kind of. I think the shock value there, we're like, oh, this guy is getting really creative with his promotion and he's like being other people, and it creates buzz within. It keeps buzz because people like different. They like different. People like to be normal, but they want to watch something outside of themselves, or else they would be them. You know what I mean?
You also always want to be on the edge of like what's going to come up next, what's ever going to be the new thing that's going to blow up tomorrow, what's the new TikTok short reel song trend.
Is it you? Are you the one?
Who knows?
Yeah,
it's one catchy thing you say, and the next thing you know, it's the thing that's on every single TikTok you see. It's the same quote of like, I wonder what we're going to do today. And it's just that single audio line. But the people, I feel like there was a time definitely when like TikTok was fresh where people were just pumping quotes out into the world to just get the next one that everybody knew.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what do you think the next thing what's the next move for social media? Do you think that we go back to long form content, or do you think it's going to continue to be short form, 15-second or less reels? I mean, is it going to continue to go shorter and shorter and shorter? Are we going to go to the longer content? Because like that Deuce's video was pretty cool with the long content.
Yeah,
like that was longer content. There was the him explaining what native was, explaining who you were, and explaining everything about it, and then going into your conversation, talking.
It was like the whole episode was 8 minutes, and
which isn't a long time.
No, but I do think. I do think 30 seconds to 90 seconds is the honey hole. Yeah, I don't think it's going to get any shorter. I don't think it's going to get any longer. People just have short attention spans, and there's so much that you can watch. It's like if you lose my attention in 10, that motherfucker's huge, bro. He's on your foot. Boom. See you later. Did you get him?
I don't know. I have a tendency to get lucky there.
You want to know a thing that's actually kind of interesting, at least for like flies, and I learned this a couple years ago, is if you want to kill a fly, what you want to do is rather than swatting it, you want to clap at it.
That's how I get them.
Yep,
I get them pretty fast. They come right in front of me. I'm just
the fact on that was very interesting because like they can feel, if you swat, they can feel like the pressure of your hand make a difference in the airwaves, but when you clap, it just balances itself out, and they have no idea. It's just it's over.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they're brutal around here, These flies just come from nowhere. They literally out of nowhere.
I think that what you were saying on short form versus long form content, I think it's going to take to the point where it's like, are you a movie watcher or are you a TV series watcher? Because I feel like we were all in our brains like everybody enjoys both, but at the end of the day, you're typically one. When I come home from work, I really don't want to watch a 3-hour movie. But there's people who love movies. I am much more YouTube. 15 minutes. I want it customized to my time slot. I have 15 minutes before I have to leave and get ready. I'm going to put a 10-minute YouTube video on.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't watch nearly as many movies as some people, but some people love that feeling. I think we're just going to take that divide, and you're going to be really one of those like, I'm a daily TikTok. I want to spend 3 hours doing short form content, or you're like, I want to watch a 3-hour documentary. I want to watch a 3-hour movie. I want to watch 7 10-minute YouTube videos with whatever time frame you have. I think that's going to be the point where it's going to be like, what crowd do you lock into? And people are going to double down on like you. Instead of trying to do all of them, it's going to be like, this is what I do, and you get the audience that comes back for that type of content.
You know, that's interesting, man, because I really I've been noticing that that a lot of shows that are on Netflix that are like series, they should have just been movies.
Yeah.
They should have just been 90 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't need to be a 4 to 8 episode, hour each, you know, because there's a lot of like drag in that. But at the same time, I see where that makes sense, because at this day and age, like, who has 2 hours to sit down and occupy your entire time? So with something like, you know, even being able to take a movie and then kind of just turn it into like an episode series, you can stop it and start it. You know what I mean? There's climaxes and there's slow parts of every movie. All they're doing is just saying, okay, this is a good intermission.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's cut it here. Let's make this episode 2. And I think it's smart that they're doing that, just because of the fact that, you know, there's less editing to do. There's imagine, you know, when you're filming a movie, everything that hits the cutting room floor, like some of that stuff is like Quentin Tarantino. There's a reason why his movies are always 3 hours long, and why his director's cuts are 4 to 5 hours long. Because like there's so much stuff that he doesn't want to cut out.
Yeah.
But he has to. He's got to get it down to under 3 hours for anybody to even consider watching it.
Right.
Like Titanic ruined that one. You know what I mean?
It was like 2 VHSs.
2 VHSs. I bought them the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I think they're still sealed too.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a good find.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely interesting to see the movie, like the producers that are trying to dabble into all the categories, because you have like Star Wars, big 3 movies, major 3 movies, then you have the last 3 movies, and they were like, well, I don't know if we want to keep doing movies, because then you got to make all this extra things. They did have like the subplot of Rogue One. That's definitely like up there for my favorite Star Wars movie. Whatever my opinion on the last 3 were, then they started spitting out bangers. Mandalorian, absolute hit. There wasn't a place that wasn't a hit at, because people were willing to spend 30 minutes watching an episode, 45 minutes watching an episode. People didn't want to devote 3 hours to this.
The Mandalorian didn't miss anywhere.
John Favreau murdered that.
I think every single
Baby Yoda.
right, every single episode brought everything that you'd want out of an episode each time. They were able to and they explained it, and there's depth to it, and they got some surface fighting. It was all very full circle too, with the story, everything connected. They did, and then they had other there's just so much dynamic. And then when you learned his name, it went from Baby Yoda to Grogu, and then there was the back and forth. Do you call him Baby Yoda? Do you call him Grogu? And that created this tension between people, and people are like, "Oh, I'm a better fan because I call him Grogu," and you're like, "No, I'm a kid." There's so many different dynamics.
About it's free publicity.
Exactly, and they did a great job of making it feel like it was for everybody, man, woman, child. Everybody had the opportunity to get invested in it because it had something for everyone. And I think those kind of things are hard to achieve, and it really helps that it's Star Wars.
Let me tell you the genius part about The Mandalorian, man. It was 100% using Baby Yoda and then turning him into Grogu, like you were saying, but every time his reactions, his little voices, like the little the little baby voices. Every time that would happen, my wife would squeal, bro. And that's just what they did was they looked at every movie, I'm sure, like E.T., and they said, why do people fall in love with this strange character, right? Like, we got to figure out a way where every time Grogu comes on the screen, people sit up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They pay attention all of a sudden, and it's like everything that he did was adorable, bro. Like even like his eyes, like how you can see the lights shining back, you know, from his eyes. Like everything about it was just it was the perfect animatronic. You know what I mean? And actually, I think what was his name? Was it Gary or Greg from Mythbusters? The the Asian guy that was on Mythbusters.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
He passed away, but he was the one that designed that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Greg. I think it starts with an H. His last name. I can hear it. Sounds like a Hawaiian island.
Interesting.
But anyways, yeah.
It's
So
Grant and
Grant, yeah.
Amahara.
Amahara, that's what it is. Yeah, Grant Amahara.
Okay.
Yeah, but he was the one that created the animatronic Baby Yoda. But Jon Favreau, man, like I don't know if you guys know like the director of that movie, like where he came from. Like his first movie was Swingers, so like super low budget, but the cinematography was incredible. Like young Vince Vaughn, and actually Jon Favreau was the other character in it. And then he made the movie Made, which is another phenomenal movie, bro. Like this movie is like Vince Vaughn's greatest flick ever made. It's hilarious, dude. If you haven't watched Made, go check it out. One of Jon Favreau's original films. It's fantastic, bro. But you see Jon Favreau go from like these independent roles, you know, and then he starts getting some more money behind him, and then all of a sudden he does Iron Man. He was the one that directed Iron Man. So then all of a sudden now he's got all the money in the world, and he's got everybody in his back pocket.
Yeah, calling anyone,
bro. And so when he was able to do The Mandalorian, like he just did that show justice, man. Like
he did.
Every episode you can't wait for the next one. You know what I mean? Like it's just so well. It's a well-oiled machine
for sure. Yeah, I mean, even Charlie asked about it all the time. Like we love Baby Yoda, and she likes the toys and everything. But when it came down to the actual show, where it's like real live action. And I was like, was she going to really like it? And we sat down, and at first, she didn't, like, until Baby Yoda came into scene, she was like, yeah, whatever. But once Baby Yoda came in, now she asked for it all the time. Now we're talking, she's like, can we watch Baby Yoda? I'm like, sure, of course. Like, I'm not going to say no to this. Like, you know, we watched a lot of Encanto, and we watched some Bluey, and we watched some other things. But when it's time to watch Mandalorian, bet your ass I'm about to get the popcorn out, and we're about to watch, you know, we're going to watch it so Charlie can, you know, get her fix of the whole show, because she liked it too. She goes Baby Yoda's dad, which is Mandalorian. I always say it's Baby Yoda and Mando, and she knows it. And like that's the thing is she's 4 and she's asking for it.
Yeah,
like she's having put on Disney Plus. I want to watch Baby Yoda, and I'm like, you said the word, you know, let's get it. So we sit down and we'll watch it, and she'll sit through the whole entire episode. Not even deter from it. I mean, some shows, you know, short attention span. Not that.
Like us all.
Because exactly. And when Baby Yoda comes in just enough to keep a kid entertained.
Mm-hmm.
Just enough.
That algorithm of like the things that, and I think the first film that I would say like at least growing up on that was like a huge one was like Shrek. It was something like my parents were fine and had no issues ever watching because it had adult humor. Things as a kid I didn't get. But something as a kid, I saw a cartoon. This is funny. And it had like comedic that I got as a kid. Stuff like that I feel like really just the stuff that parents, adults, moms, dads want to watch. Moms want to resonate with. Dads feel comfort from, but don't feel like I'm watching some girly stuff. Yeah. And it's like kids are like, I want to watch this. You now have 4 people that all agree on one thing. It's not like I'm like, my dad wants to watch Mission Impossible for the 6th time. My mom wants to watch Hallmark movies. I hate both of those things.
Right.
Respectfully. I want to go watch anything else. But there's like small things that everyone can relate on. It's like the Taylor Swift being in the Super Bowl. The amount of like jokes on moms or dads and daughters just coming together who were like daughters who didn't give anything about the Super Bowl and dads who were like, I don't care for Taylor Swift, but everybody had their jerseys on and everybody watched the event.
Right.
So just that culmination of audiences, once you pull those audiences in, you're going to keep 20, 30, 40, up to 50% of your audience when you have that.
Yeah, Super Bowl was the most viewed it's ever been. As it happens every year, because every year you hear them say it's the most viewed. This year, I mean, Taylor Swift really took the took it to a new level.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so, but like you make like a good point that you made there, and totally agree, is the two sides coming together. You know, the dad that's always like, "Hey, watch this. Let me explain to you how football works." Where the daughter's like, "Hey, I'm a Swiftie. We just saw her in the Eras tour. I'm gonna go watch her. You know, I'm gonna watch the show. Hopefully or watch the Super Bowl. Hopefully they put her on her a lot, but they didn't put her on the screen that much. Only just a few times, right? She was like, it was like 15 seconds of total screen time that she got on the Super Bowl. You know. And, you know, Usher did his thing, so a lot of people were watching, you know, for his performance. And there's just a lot to the Super Bowl that really, they market it so well. They put the people in the right places. And, of course, you know, it's sports, so people are there for the, you know, that end of things. But, like, on the entertainment front, they do it as good, if better than anybody else that does entertainment on another level like that. Like, because like basketballs have halftime shows around the court. Lots of things happen when you're in person, but it's not something you can really watch and enjoy. And like even in the finals, it doesn't work that way. But the Super Bowl halftime, people are waiting for the commercials and they're waiting for the Super Bowl, the halftime performance. Whoever it is, it doesn't matter.
The median ground. Even if you didn't care about football, you're like, I came for the commercials.
Yep.
I came for this. I came because Post Malone's at halftime. All that stuff. It's just like feels like the one safe space where everybody like just collectively just calms and just goes, I'm gonna sit down. Even if you're like Super Bowl parties, plenty of times you've been at a Super Bowl party and game's on and you're just having a conversation. But you're typically there for like the environment and the amount of people that just come together for this event. Yeah. And I feel like that's what makes it like an underrated special event. Like as much as we want to, you know, give it shit, that's totally fine. But we all have to acknowledge that like we're glad that it's pulling in the audience.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. I mean, it's an entertainment thing. It's, you know, like it's the WWE kind of like that when the outcome can be determined, blah, 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 and all the stuff that you hear about it and people are like, oh, it's sports. It needs to be fair. Well, it's an entertainment business. They're trying to put on a show. They're trying to put on for the most viewers every single time. And the NFL runs the world, like runs sports. Nothing even comes close. Not basketball, like nothing comes close to the NFL because they own Sundays. Like it just is what it is. And when it comes to the top of the pyramid, when it comes to the Super Bowl and going for it all, they know how to execute, and they execute it really, really well. Where people are talking about it for a week or two after, we're still talking about the Super Bowl. It happened a month ago. And here we are still talking about it. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty amazing.
I feel like the people that are on the top marketing have every single genre down because they knew people there's going to be drama at the Super Bowl every single year with bad plays are going to be called, and then that's just going to start conversation. Controversy is there's no bad publicity at the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, like every year we're like, oh, this ref made a bad call. We hate that. That just makes me more aggravated at the Super Bowl, but then I'm talking about it more, which is more publicity for them, which...
Yeah.
So.
It's an ever-going, never-ending cycle of just entertainment. And, but yeah, so hopefully this next Super Bowl, we get the Bengals have a chance to be a part of that conversation. Have we got any updates? Any free agency updates? Nothing. I don't think so.
Not that I've seen.
Once it happens, it's going to be the internet. Whatever happens, because I know the Bengals are planning on making a big splash. They're going to have to because T. Higgins is he wants to be traded, so he's going to go somewhere.
Yeah,
something's going to happen with him. We just don't know what splash is going to be made. And
they posted on IG like a photo of Childish Gambino just sweating, and it says the Bengals administration wanting to tell everybody. You know, it's like. Because they're getting a bunch of hate right now for losing Joe Mixon and T, but
T is still in house. T hasn't left yet, so like we still have like what we do with T is really what matters. Like because like he wants to be traded, and I don't blame him. They've been having these conversations for a year, and they haven't given it to him. So because of that, I understand where he's coming from. He wants to get paid. If he gets on a franchise tag and something happens to him this year, he gets hurt. What happens next year to him? They don't franchise tag him again.
Right.
What happens? You know what I mean? So you got to get a contract that lets you, gives you a little security. Yeah, man. Whenever you guys are ready, just let me know. Yeah. Yeah, come through, man. Yeah. I'll let you there. Yeah, what's up?
So, anyways, man, when it comes to the Bengals, dude, obviously the city wants to see them do well, and it's wild. As soon as we release one person, it's like everybody starts freaking out. You know what I mean? And there's obviously there's some rules to the madness. You know, they've got some sort of structure they're trying to put together. But what you said you went? So last week you popped in for the movies, and you saw Wonka, right?
Yeah.
And then this week you saw Kung Fu Panda.
4. Yeah.
Tell me about it, man. Which one was a better one to go see?
Definitely Kung Fu Panda. I think those movies are just generally better. I think that's something we talked about last week was like Wonka was such a hard one to beat because when you drop such a classic, iconic movie, which is the Johnny Depp version, like everybody, there's people who love the original over it, but I feel like commonly you typically hear people say like the Johnny Depp version.
Yeah,
when you
for
drop
sure.
a movie that leaves a legacy behind, where there's somebody's like, oh yeah, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. If they sold Wonka bars on the shelf today, people would buy them because you can't not. It's a nostalgia point in your brain. It's just a happy point. That dopamine, it's great.
Right.
And I think it's one of those that when it came out, there's a set expectation that you want it to hit that dopamine levels, but it's never going to be able to because it's a different point in your life, which I think is pretty interesting to think about because, you know, you hadn't seen anything. You had seen one movie similar, but we had such made jumps in CVI, cinematography, since the first Willy Wonka. So when we had the second movie, they're flying through elevator scenes and you're like, compared to the first movie, it just had technological advances that it didn't have.
Right.
So I think Johnny Depp was definitely set to be when you have a really good actor and you have a jump in technological and cinematic like advances, it's going to be that jump. So also, having watched through like the Kung Fu Panda movies, it feels like one of those movies that's like, as a kid I was happy to put on, and as a parent, I still like, as I grow older, even when I like certain things I just don't enjoy as much, you still get those chills and those moments that are like, this is a nice wholesome moment where like things that you don't expect. The people who did the Kung Fu Panda movies, super good. I think that was super well done.
Yeah.
But I think Wonka's just very much like it's a certain audience. It's like there's 7 musicals, and when I saw the movie, I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
There was no like mind-blowing moment.
Yeah, man, I'm in the same boat, dude. It's like, you know, Johnny Depp did such a great job at the role. It's like I really don't want to see another version of Wonka. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you know, Gene Snyder obviously was amazing back in the day, but you know, when you see somebody like Johnny Depp that just comes in and just takes over the role, kind of how like a Heath Ledger does. You know what I mean?
Nobody will ever hit that, even with the new Batman series. And I'd say the new Batman's one of my favorite Batmans.
Mm-hmm.
It's just never going to be the same. I think honestly, somebody like Jared Leto playing Joker, a lot of people hated that, but I don't think he would have got nearly as much hate if Heath Ledger wasn't as much of a legend as he was.
Right.
Because it's so, you can't fill those shoes, and they wanted to try to do something different, and I get it. Like, I get it, but it's just, not only did you play like a different role that people weren't expecting, and a very different role based on the kind of person that Joker's been set up. People who enjoy Batman typically have been enjoying Batman for a long time. They know who this Joker is. He hates capitalism, and in that movie he's driving a Lamborghini. This isn't who Joker is. This isn't the guy. So him having a grill, that's crazy. Nobody's like, that's not who he is.
Right.
So putting that on is very interesting, but even with the new Joker and the newest Batman, they like teased him at the end of the movie, and if you look up, there's an after scenes credit, which I think is like very interesting, but it's just knowing in your mind it's never going to be Heath Ledger. It's never going to have that like cold chills moment of just seeing that moment, just like, I don't know, something about just beating the shit out of Heath Ledger, being like, where is she? It's not.
Right, but then at the same time, though, the guy that's playing the new role, he's some sort of like, I know they teased him at the end because he was some popular actor, right, or something to do with like
he was in Immortals. It's the newest Avenger. It was one of the newer Marvel Avenger movies that had like 7 superheroes in it. I'm trying to think of his name. But he is definitely he's a big popular actor. Yeah,
for them to tease him like that at the end of the movie, they obviously see something in him that's good enough to do an entire story off of. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't tease an actor if they weren't sure that he was going to be able to carry the next role, the next entire movie, right?
I think it's nice because I do like the spin that I think this Batman series. I think that's why it's one of my more enjoyed movies, because I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it as much when it came out, but I was like, the reason you see this Batman and it feels very different than the other ones is because this one is intentionally like a prequel almost, because the first Batman movie, the new one, is supposed to be, this is his genuine first time being Batman. Mm-hmm. He fucks up. You see him get hit quite a bit. Every other Batman movie, he's typically pretty iconic as the only person he's losing to is Bane. So it's very much like he is learning. You see the transition in the movie of him going from like I am vengeance to like I'm hope, which is a huge thing as Batman. When you see him, it's like, is he vengeance? He's like, that is really scary, but it's more of like the symbol of like when you're in an alley and it's dark, it's not that he's scared, it's that I'm not afraid.
Right.
And that's what he wants to promote. So I think that's super interesting, the spin they do on it. So also I think Robert Pattinson made a huge one, which I know a lot of people, since the beginning of Twilight, you either love him or you hate him. It's just one of those things. You're like, I hate Twilight. I hate anybody who likes Twilight. It's like a Titanic thing. It's like you love it or you hate it.
Fair.
So
Right.
anybody
Yeah.
who saw was like, they saw
You're
Robert
in
Pattinson.
or out, yeah.
I was a big Twilight fan, and I like people were like, that's super weird. I grew up and I just watched whatever my mom had on, and Twilight was on, and Nickelback was on. So I like Twilight, and Nickelback is the shit. So like those are just things that I enjoy.
Fair.
Red flags or not, that's totally fine by
Red
me.
flags or not.
But I think that's something I was like when I saw it, and I was very excited to see the movie, and I like the take they're having on it, because I don't think you can live up to just the legend that was made of Batman. You have to put a spin on it. Something like I talk about this often. I'm a big fan of Liquid Death myself. I've got their water bottle, and people always have to say something about like, why is it called Liquid Death? I'm like, because if they can sell Dasani, they can sell anything.
Yep.
If they can
Yep.
sell it to anybody, like people will pay $6 for a Dasani at Kings Island. If you can sell it, you have to bring something new to the table if you're
Yeah,
going to reinvent the wheel. So
Yeah.
I think that's just a good example of like series that when you do something new or you reboot a series, you have to bring something different. I think that's the reason that I think Wonka wasn't as like over the table, is I don't feel like they brought anything overly new to the series,
Yeah.
or they didn't continue it. Something like Rogue One, I think, was a huge movie that I really liked because it felt super side character-y. All the characters I fell in love with, I was like, these people are genuine heroes. There was no overwhelming Jedis. It genuinely felt like a really nice, wholesome side story. And I was very, very sad at the ending when you see just the like climactic losing every character you just built up, and you're like, these guys are heroes, and they all get sacrificed, and you're like, that hurts. And I like,
Yeah.
it's hard to feel that when I see a movie when I'm like, that almost like I felt that moment.
Is there ever a time when you're watching a show or watching something and then a pivotal, important, fundamental character is killed off? Does that waver from you watching it, or is that like, do you like wait for the next thing, or is like that, you know what I mean? Like, for example, when The Walking Dead, when they killed off Glenn,
Yeah.
that was a big moment for me that I pretty much stopped watching at that point. The show is already kind of trending away from my interest. I was liking it, but I'd watched it since the beginning, so like it was getting, the show wasn't really getting stale, but I was
It doesn't provide the same dopamine
It
as
wasn't,
the
yeah,
same
at the
17th
beginning.
time you've seen a movie. You're
Yeah.
like,
right.
this isn't the
And
second.
then they killed off Glenn, and I was like, man, they killed off one of the best characters, man. Like, why? So I was like, you know what, I'm cool on the show for now, and I really never went back to it. But is there a situation where you feel the same?
I have one that's pretty, and I would like to have mended this at this point, but I didn't watch Solo because it didn't have Harrison Ford in it. I am a Harrison Ford is Han
Okay.
Solo guy. That is my dude. If you are not going to cast him or CGI his face on somebody, I'm not interested. Respectfully, I do credit to the man that made that character. It's just like the new Indiana Jones they made. They still put him in it. I get it. It can be expensive to CGI people's faces. That's fine. But if you're not going to take the time and budget to do it, I'm not respectfully going to go watch it. And there's people who said, banger movie, it's amazing. But there's certain things that I'm just like,
you have an expectation. You have an expectation that yeah.
But something that that reminds me of is like one thing that I feel like I see way too much now is I'm almost getting tired of seeing the same 12 actors in every movie.
Okay.
New Mario movie, voiced by popular person. New Garfield movie, voiced by popular person. Chris Pratt and Ryan, I think it's Ryan Reynolds is voicing the new Garfield, and it's like, okay, I like these characters staying in like a nice stationary world for me. Like Ryan Reynolds plays a good bunch of characters, but when I see him in like I feel like I'm like, turn on The Office and I'm like, Ryan Reynolds is here, and I turn on Deadpool and he's here, and I turn on Marvel and he's here, and I turn on something else and I'm like, he's here. I like characters staying in my mind as like certain actors that play well, but I feel like we almost got to this point where people were worried about movies failing,
So
we started just
safe
putting
bets.
on the same
Yeah.
same everything.
Yeah. Even cell phone commercial, Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
We have the
him and his mom.
we
You know what I mean? Like, he's everywhere. And I do think there is something to be said about popular characters and people playing familiar people that you see everywhere playing characters that you're looking to enjoy the Sonic movie or looking to enjoy, because they have like Jim Carrey played Eggman.
Eggman, yeah.
Eggman. So like having stuff like people like him and those positions I think are really cool. But I do think there is something to a voice that hasn't been heard playing that character. I think there's something there. It doesn't have to be a person that's never done a movie before, but having a voice that everyone's heard.
Hear everywhere.
Yeah,
bro.
you know,
like Deadpool, I feel like everybody knew, everybody's watched.
but he's actually
everybody's
he's
seen
not just the voice. He's actually the actor.
Yeah, that too. But like, I feel like
Yeah.
it's just a voice that I attach with things. So when he's voicing like Garfield or Mario is voiced by Chris Pratt, I'm like, this is Star-Lord to me, and maybe a couple other odds and
yeah.
ends roles. That's
Yeah.
totally fine. I don't have any issues with that. But like, when I see the new Mario movie, no offense to Chris Pratt, I just want to see Mario and not other people. I don't want to see
Yeah.
Thor in my new or in my new Mario movie. I just something about that I feel is very different. The Super Bowl was one example where I feel like this year was a huge one where I feel like I watched the most safe bet commercials because we had the biggest amount of blown up commercials that if you post the wrong thing in your commercial or an actor that goes bad, that ages really bad with your brand. We had the most repetitive actors we've ever seen. If you look at the current stats for the Super Bowl commercials, it had the same actors for. There's one actor, I can't think of her name, was in I think 3 different Super Bowl commercials, which is crazy.
Back to back to back.
I don't think it was back to back, but in the Super Bowl. Like I feel
Okay.
like every single ad I kind of expect to see something different. But if I see like, I'm gonna throw a random name of a nobody, Tanya Price in 3 different ads, I'm like, that's kind of. We get some different actors. We
Yeah.
have more than 12 celebrities, you know.
Yeah.
Like that's I
No.
don't mind celebrities, but I feel like it's good for everyone to have their place.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
if I see Bud, like if I like Post Malone and I like him as the Bud Light guy, but if I see him in like every other liquor commercial, I'm like, you know, go and rock your lane. I like everyone having their own.
Yeah,
nice
the
space.
oversaturation definitely.
That's
definitely,
it. Oversaturation is the word.
The oversaturation I definitely see there. It's to me. I am not necessarily. I don't care how often they're in the commercials, but I'm just looking for the most creative. Regardless of who you put in, I like the commercials that do like the Liberty, like insurance commercials with like people. Like I think those are hilarious. Like he has like the guy just talks to the animal, like he talks to the
Ostrich.
yeah, like that. It's like stuff like that. I'm just like, what are they doing? But it sticks with me. It literally like, oh okay, like you know they're not doing anything like crazy like jingly or anything like make me remember like the Blake Maslin commercials, the 444, like stuff like that where they try to beat in your head. Just if you do creative commercials and you don't have to do repetition, I'm here for it. I'm here for the creativity. I think the Mint Mobile, the stuff with Ryan Reynolds, I think that's really creative how he does that.
That's my phone provider currently. I mean, that's what I got drawn in by. I don't think I have a problem with him doing multiple
He's got
brands.
you.
I mean, yeah, he did. I mean, he advertised good prices and an actor I liked. So I think it's the like unattaching certain what I think of this person as. When I think of Ryan Reynolds, I think of like funny, comedic, Deadpool. It's what's just in my brain. It's just certain.
He's done a lot. I mean, he's done. I mean, him and when Dane Cook used to do everything. They're like Dane Cook used to be in a lot of stuff too. And now we don't see him as much. But Ryan Reynolds is kind of like taking that. He's got a bunch of things that he does though. Like Deadpool, of course,
Man,
but
his
he's
portfolio.
got a portfolio for sure, and he's something that everyone can really vibe with. And he's I'd rather have him in those positions than some of the people they've had over the years. You know, like so he's definitely. I'm a supporter. It's
He owns it, right?
Mint Mobile.
He
That's
sold
what he
it off
said.
recently. I think it was like a year or two ago. I think he sold it because I remember hearing about that because I got a contract update from them. I think he still is like a sales flags person, but I think he's no longer a majority shareholder. I think it was T-Mobile or somebody bought him because now Verizon has their own Mint Mobile, but it's called something, and like every
Vision.
single person. Yeah, stuff like that. They all had to do like nobody wants to pay $80 a month if you're one person, but if you're 4 people, Verizon's cheap. The first people to do it and blow it up was Ryan Reynolds with Mint Mobile. When they advertised $15 a month, and I got off my parents' Verizon plan, and they were like, "It's going to be $80 a month on your own," and I'm like, "Well, I don't want my bills to tie to anybody else, and I also don't want to waste $80 a month on my phone plan." And then it's really hard when I've had 2 or 3 people join since because they're like, "What do you pay?" And I'm like, "I think I pay $30 a month for unlimited," and they're like, "$30," and I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "How many people do you have in your plan?" I'm like, "It's just me, bro," and they cut my plan down if I pay for like auto pay or pay for a whole year at once.
Right.
It's like easy. I'll just dump $400 and not even. I'll just tune out for a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's they're getting the cell phone payments pretty low. I mean, I got a new phone and my payment was exactly the same. I have AT&T, so it's just
I do think I want to contrast your opinion that I think mine lies different. That I don't dislike when I see somebody play in the roles of like Ryan Reynolds being Garfield or whoever is voicing him that is a popular actor. When you say I don't want it to be someone that they've been casting or someone over the years, I actually like that take because I think it pushes risk and it's what gives you your top movies. I think that's genuinely what it is. I think Johnny Depp like had a career, but I think there's certain like just a certain role of when they finally put him in first is when he got to be discovered as like, oh, you're good. When that's like that's Willy Wonka. It's like when you're like, oh, that's Jack Sparrow. It's just that moment that's trying something new is what gets the iconic moments out of things.
So do you think that the iconic moments that we are all looking for, do you think they're based on the writing or do you think they're based on the actor delivering it? Or do you think it's a combination? Do you think because you put the right person with that script or do you think the writing really helps the actor? Like where's your take on like on that scale?
I think it's the actor. I think there are certain times where I've seen like the director take over, but I feel like most of the time when we see raw creative talent, it's typically like the writer and the actor are on the same page for what the narrative is, and the actor will take his own initiative during it. Because there's a lot of movies where like you'll see they'll say things or do things that are like on their own because they kind of fill into the role.
Yeah.
And those are some of the moments that you're like they didn't expect to take off in the movie. They're like, this is trash, and that's what blows up.
Yeah.
And I think it genuinely is. Unless it's an animated movie, I think it's the actor. Because I don't think Deadpool would have ever been Deadpool if it was Ryan Reynolds. I think somebody could have been close, but not the massive marketing that it was it was before Baby Yoda. It was the thing that was people's Facebook profiles. It was at every Hot Topic. It was at every merch shop. Everybody just had Deadpool shirts on. There's somebody here that's got a Deadpool shirt on somewhere.
For sure. And it's definitely Ryan Reynolds, man. You couldn't have Paul Rudd, instead of being Ant-Man, being Deadpool and killing that role, no offense to Paul Rudd, he's a great actor, but he doesn't have that flair
there's definitely difference for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, so in like The Office, for example, like a lot of Michael Scott's stuff is improvised. Yeah. There's a lot of improvisation.
A lot of that's
episodes. Happening. You know what it means with. What did it say?
So a lot of the episodes I found out, there was a good handful that were written. Moments were just written by people that were there that were like just sitting there writing. There's people that were like in the background just writing episodes, just sending them in, and they were like, those were hit episodes. Just small moments like that. I think it's genuinely like the actors that make it. I feel like because someone I didn't know for the longest time, Gru was voiced by him. It's voiced by the guy who I cannot think of his actual actor name for the life of me. It is voiced by Michael. Same voice actor.
Steve Carell?
Yeah. But most people don't know that because it's very scripted. It's very Gru. It's very directed by somebody. But The Office is iconic because of the characters. I think that's the moment where like writing sets a character that you want to be perceived as, but the person who blows it out and makes it a memorable person is the actor.
Right. Yeah. For sure. And I think that's a big part of why we like as society. We like these next level people because they are able to bring out something that isn't on script. It is off script. It is something made in the moment, improv. It is something that you can't get anywhere other than that moment, and they felt it and they went with it, and their charisma and how they carry themselves carried the whole scene, and it makes for those moments that get them the awards. You know what I mean? Like that.
It gives it Heath Ledger. It's the legend that he made for himself. I mean, that dude went in so deep he could not come back from that, which is so sad to lose somebody, but going so iconic and into a role mentally that you can't come back from it is crazy. But it gave us the Heath Ledger that every person knows, that everyone respects, and everybody remembers as like a positive hero in their brain. And I think that's like a huge thing.
Yeah, for sure. Will Ferrell's one of those guys too, man, that comes out and just improvises shit, and it ends up being 10 times funnier than anything anyone's could have written.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the stuff in Step Brothers was improvised. Just him and John C. Reilly, like when those two get together, man, it's wild. You know what's crazy, bro? I've seen that movie Step Brothers like 1,000 times, and after the pandemic and after everything happened, I went and watched it again, and I swear it was never there before. But in their bedroom, when they put on the night vision goggles, there's a license plate that just says native right behind them. It's sitting on the shelf. And
What?
I'm like, all right, Jay, I see you. Like you
Oh.
went in the future, went in the
Put it
past,
there.
and
The
then
Simpsons
dropped
energy
it
going
in.
on,
Yeah,
traveling
bro.
in time to go know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Future you gets
Sent back in
uh-huh.
time, and I was there, and I swapped out an Ohio license plate.
Yeah.
put
Putting
a
Easter
native
eggs out in the
there.
past just to let us
Right.
know what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
What if that I mean that would be wild.
I mean, I kind of remember
John
doing
Teeter.
it, so maybe that is just a future thought that I had. Because
Yeah.
I remember breaking in there, and I remember having that sign in my hand. I was with John Teeter,
Yeah.
so
How's he doing?
he's good, man. He's obviously I wanted to post a picture, but he wanted me to blur his face out.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, John.
Just again, John wants to be
Alright,
secretive, and John Teeter out here.
One of these days, we're gonna get you on the podcast.
yeah.
I've asked him, and he was down for it. He was just like, you know what, we're gonna have to do this.
He wants to wear a mask, doesn't he? Or
Yeah,
something like that.
and he also wants the entire levee to be closed. He doesn't want anyone to be able to look in through the windows.
That's not fair.
I mean, we might be able to make it happen. They lock the doors at 11, so we can come in here like 2:00 in the morning and film
yeah.
one day with the time traveler.
We
That'd
should
be fire, bro.
right. The time. I mean, John Teeter, he got some valuable nuggets that we could really like use, and he could tell us, what's going to happen in the future Super Bowls.
Yeah, man.
Now I'm putting my sports bets.
Right, for
Yeah.
sure. You know what, man? It's probably not a bad bet. I wonder what $100 right now on the Bengals to win the Super Bowl, what those odds are
I think they're
today, because they're going to change tomorrow.
Yeah.
Coming down.
I think they're like sixth. The sixth odds, sixth in the odds.
Mhm.
So they're not quite in the top four like they were, but yeah, they've got pretty good odds though, and
Yeah.
things are going to definitely change as long as they make a big splash. I'm just curious what they're going to do in the running back situation. What happens now? Because I mean, you can't like Zach Moss is good, but he's not going to give the same productivity that Mixon even got. So
I mean, that's the one thing I'm worried about was like Mixon was always like the go-to for Burrow. If Burrow got stuck somewhere, he was able to outlet to Mixon, and we're going to have that type of relationship with the next running back. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Just what we were saying, Joe's really not a runner, so it's more dependent on the running back.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We just need to make sure we have a good blocking back, because a running back that blocks is crucial.
Yeah.
Because they don't have to necessarily have the ball in their hands to be effective on the football field. So you got to have someone that can block, which wasn't necessarily Mixon's strong suit.
Yeah, I've seen Travion step up a couple times for that.
Sure, I think Travion he got an extension for a reason. Is anything we've learned in the NFL is. If anything we've learned in the NFL, it's funny.
I wish we had the microphone and be like, come on in.
Just from an anonymous spot.
Yeah, that's funny. You can go ahead.
So for everybody watching right now, the 7-Up door inside our store, once you step on the grass, it slides open and reveals the whole second half of the store. The batteries just died on the pressure pad, so I've got a little remote right here. So as soon as somebody walks up, I can hit the button and freak them out, which is it's kind of fun.
Once you come back out, you get hit with the memory wipe, so you didn't know what happened.
Right.
Like the
Men in Black too. You just walk outside, just get flashed.
I'm hoping this computer's doing all right, bro. It's lagging on this side. Yam says it looks good on online though, but
Okay.
we're running out of space on this.
Yeah.
Not that we have to stop right now. We're just
Another
saying
technology.
We've got to. Yeah, we just got to dump all that footage onto
We got to live with technology,
hard drive.
exist with
Oh,
it.
you were talking about that earlier when you were talking about the maintenance for your tech. I was going to mention that because I remember getting the point now, and I do feel like I'm almost at a point where I was getting sick of it, is the more technology I own, the more steps I have to add to my life. Now that I have a smartwatch and a smartphone and earbuds, I have to do 3 things a night now. I have to plug in my phone, which was fine, but now I have to plug in my earbuds, and now I have to plug in my watch. and now I have to plug in my desk, and I got to charge my wireless mouse, and I got to charge my wireless keyboard, and I got to charge my wireless headset, and I feel like I have to plug in 9 different devices, and I got to like also like I got to plug in my car now. That's my car's electric. I got to plug that in. All of that stuff I feel like is definitely a huge change where I feel like I just remember growing up and I was like, I got to plug in my phone, and that happened every other day. And now I'm like, every night.
I plug my phone in every single night.
No, I have to. I feel like I didn't have to used to do that. Maybe I just wasn't on my phone as much because TikTok wasn't enthralling me to my phone every 10 minutes, or I don't know what it is, but I feel like every night I have to plug my phone in. It's such a detrimental part. It's where my alarms come from. My work's texting me. My work's calling me. I have friends, loved ones. They're calling, texting. It's like a daily. You have to pick up, or somebody going to be worried you're dying. Stuff like that. I'm adding so much that it's nice when you take a step back, and I feel like I taking those moments when you go on like a vacation and you bring your analog watch instead of your smartwatch for once. I think that's a huge different thing where it's like just feeling the relief of not plugging 7 devices in. I have to plug myself into my bed to get some sleep and my phone in. I'm also probably on my phone. I don't know. I just feel like that's a huge difference in life that I wasn't expecting. But
I want to piggyback on that. The thing about technology and having to plug everything in is we're in the system. We're connected, and we know how important it is to be responsible with our devices, making sure things are ready to go, it's daily human prep at this point, that you make sure your technology is charged, make sure your phone has enough juice so you can get stuff done, because we run this business from our phone. We run native on the levee. We run this store from our phone through social media, through promotions. Ideas come from our phones. Like, they're super important and pivotal to the success of the store. Yeah. So making sure that this thing is taken care of, and it's the technology's up. Like I have an iPhone 15 now. I was able to upgrade because my 12 Pro was.
You got a Type C now, right?
I do.
Welcome.
Have the Type C. I do.
Hey, now I can lend you a charger.
True. Very. Yeah. But yeah, like my 12 was like running like molasses, man. It was so slow. I remember the last Beyond the Stage, which we just actually dropped some promo content for Beyond the Stage.
Go check
Beyond
that
the Stage Live. Yeah. Our next date is March 21st at Madison Live. I'll be sitting down with TV shows. He does rap, hip hop. He does some singing. He does a little bit of everything. But I'll be sitting down with him, and we have a conversation. He'll play a set, and studio audience, you can come sit and enjoy the show. Which will be on March 21st at Madison Live.
Be there, be square.
Yes, sir. But the last one one of the ones that I had done when I was interviewing Fisco back in December, my 12 Pro my phone was just overheating. It actually shut off on me before I could even finish the event. So my technology was playing against me. And we live stream the entire event. So we're live streaming, I'm recording, doing my thing on my phone, and my phone freezes up. It like completely overheats on me to where like you can't even touch it because it's so hot. It's burning a hole if you put it in your pocket. It literally like burn you, it feels like. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I cannot do another Beyond the Stage with my phone. So I went to the AT&T store and I was like, what's my upgrade going to cost? Yada, yada. And they said, this is the amount. And I was like, it's the same as my old phone. They're like, well, you're eligible for an upgrade, you get the phone. Like, I'm like, all right, cool, awesome, let's get this going. So they shipped the phone to me because I wanted 256 gig, and I wanted
dude, that gigabytes now is a requirement, man.
It has to.
They say
yeah,
like it's 60, and I'm like, that's not gonna be enough. After you have a phone for 5-10 years, dude, the amount of photos you've pulled is You've got 100 gigs in that alone. That's just burning up. A single good high quality video, 10 gigs,
right?
5 gigs.
Takes
what in the heck? I'm not deleting that video. I love that concert moment.
Right.
I don't care how blurry it was. It's my memory from that moment.
Exactly. It's about you. It's about what you have on your hard drive or with your technology, and what you've got on your social media. So like having enough space so that everything runs smoothly, that I can record 4K videos, that I can hold enough content on here without bogging it down. All these different factors that come in my brain. So I'm like, all right, make sure you get the right phone. So they had to ship it to me, came to me in 2 days, super convenient, right to my doorstep, and that was pretty cool. Only thing I was missing is it being dropped off by a drone. I'm waiting for one of my packages to be dropped off by a drone, man.
I think that'll be an exciting day, but it's going to be in a gated community in a rich part of California that's going to be done. I think there's just
they're
too
doing
many
it
others.
already. They're started it.
They are, but it's all
begun.
in controlled places.
I
'cause
know.
You just have too many people that are accessing other drones. And
Yeah.
I mean, just speaking of something we spoke on, like I think last time was like the data breaches that happened. Dude, I don't want my Amazon my Amazon drones getting hacked. That's getting people who don't need control of drones activating that can carry weight. Dude, that's chaos on its hands. But I think that's something that was just interesting. The amount of like plug-in that's required. Like we just talked about, that pressure plate died. That's not going to say it's a fundamental, but that's a fundamental of the store.
Yeah.
It just feels crazy how crucial technology feels in our day-to-day lives now. When your phone dies, you feel lost, scared immediately. When it's under 10%,
Of course. Got you.
when it's under 10%, I'm sweating. I mean, I remember like that point when I wake up and I forgot to plug my watch in, and I'm like, dang, I feel naked today. I don't have my watch on. It just feels wrong.
Yeah, I have mine on. I put my stuff on. I got my watch. This watch, it's really
We talked
sleek.
about that. It's that's
man.
a sleek watch, man. I
Then
like that.
I got this watch from Wish app. Remember Wish app? Yeah,
no,
man.
I remember Wish
Yeah,
app.
yeah. I got it for like it wasn't expensive at all, but like it has lasted me. It's a solid little piece. And then my other stuff. I got my native brand wristband, and then I've got my my wristband that says Dad 2019. That's my Charlie piece. And then I've got my Popple, which is my social media, so I can just scan onto your phone and it'll bring up my like digital business card. And people can find me on social media or, whatever information they need, the website that I, nativebrand.com and, be on the stage or whatever that they want to search on me in that case. So like I got all those three things and then my watch and it's, my setup. But that's the thing is like having these smartwatches and stuff, which I might eventually get one of those, but
It's
having
hard.
got-
I've dabbled in both, and I say like honestly, I wouldn't recommend it. I am
Yeah.
only now with one just because of like, I hate how much simpler it makes things. Just the amount of emails, texts, notifications I get in a day. It's just easier instead of pulling my phone out of my pocket every time when I'm at work 300 times a day. I just glance and I go, useless notification, swiped. I feel like I'm cutting time down, but the other thing that's like definitely notable about yours is you've had yours for years.
yes.
All of our phones, 3 years in, we're going to be struggle buses with our phones, our watches, all of it. This battery's probably going to be absolutely trash. That's going to be working fine, I guarantee you.
Yeah, this works fine.
So it's the having to upgrade every 2-3 years, the constant need for all that. It's a very different change of pace, and it's something that's like, I still feel like I have moments of like, kind of kicking back and going, am I enjoying this as much? I've actually had times recently where when I'm out, I actually enjoy and I let my phone die. I'll be out and about, and I'll be like, I'll have to drive home, no Google Maps, and I'm okay with that. I think that's something that like, I think it's a healthy experience, and it's like it's pretty intimidating. I can't lie. The first time you let your phone die, and you're like, I don't know if I know how to get home. That's kind of interesting, and it also
Fair,
like
yeah.
makes you pay attention. Something like I definitely differ from than a lot of people. My age bracket is like, I just Google Maps everything, everywhere, forever. That's it. I definitely don't have a lot of people are like, oh, they just know street names, stuff like that. I think a lot of the younger generation will get to the point where I didn't need to know street names, so why would I? A lot of people are like, I don't even know the street that I live on, which is crazy to me. But they're like, it's in my phone saved as home on my
Yeah.
GPS.
Yeah.
So I think that's like very. very
How do
interesting.
you feel that? How do you feel that? Well, because we've used to be you had to download the directions and you print them off and then
Yeah.
you follow
Giant
them.
map.
Yep, exactly. And now, like you go into it and you just search up real quick of like you even type in the first 3 numbers of wherever you're going. And it'll already like it'll put in all the addresses that are of that. You don't have to even really research it. As long as you know one of the words, you can find it real quick. You don't have to do any extra legwork. Whether it's Waze,
Yeah.
whether it's Waze or it's Google Maps or any
One
of
of the other ones,
Yeah,
yeah.
any of the GPSs out there. It's come to an era where we're like, you don't have to know street names. You don't have to know. You just have to know I go left, right, and I'm there.
And even some people don't even know how to do that.
yeah, right. They just stare at the phone and they don't even have to know any other information.
I don't even know how to drive in the first place. They just kind of go for it and hope you don't hit them back.
Right here soon we'll have this self-driving cars. I was watching a Instagram video recently. These girls were going to a place and they just sat in the back seat in the car. Drove
Driverless
them.
taxis are crazy,
bro. Like what? It
My
was
comfort
insane.
level is insane. I don't even trust some people I know that have been safe driving for 20 years, but I guess maybe that's the point. I don't always trust the people that I've been sitting in the car with for 20 years because they're just not paying as much attention as I would like. But I guess if I trust a machine to do it, is that more reliable? And I guess we're hoping to get to that point where you do trust that machine. Instead of trusting a barista to make your coffee right every time, that human touch tastes better, but my Keurig does make it the exact same every single time. So it's kind of what's your enjoyment and trade-off?
Yeah. I think that the automated technology era where it's making it consistently, I think there will be a place for it, and there will be something that people will, they'll gravitate to. But the human-to-human contact will mostly always exist because a company will come out when everything's going technology, and they'll go the opposite way. They're like, "Do you miss human contact? Come see our baristas. Come get a little, get some TLC. Get some loving in your existence, man. Like, you don't necessarily need the machine to make it perfect every time. One of our baristas will put some, extra care in, your experience here, and you're gonna get the experience. Where the technology may not give the experience. It gives you the quick, easy path of least resistance, but that experience where you're having the conversation with the barista, hearing about their day, them asking you about your day, and you feel like your dollars are going right to that person rather than your dollars going to a machine. Where's that machine taking that money from? Yeah, like exactly.
CEO who's already a billionaire.
Doesn't even matter where it's going. You're just getting your coffee. You're getting your latte, and you're just like, hey, doesn't matter. It tastes the same as it did last time I ordered it, but you're not getting that experience. And I think the experience, like we bring here at Native, we consider ourselves experience makers. Interactive retail. We're trying to allow people to, walk in our store and see, this, and we're trying to walk out and have them say, "This is the coolest store I've ever been in," and it happens so frequently that is, it's humbling every single time because I'm like, man, we did this. Like, we built this store for a place that we would like to hang out and we would love to be involved in. And we were able to do just that. And for people to see that and be able to give us that comment of, "This is the coolest, this is the coolest, this is the coolest." If it was a robot that says, "Here, let me cash you out," no experience, the whole thing was robotic or, technology based. Yeah, we have some technology. We have TVs. We have the mannequin with the box on its head right behind you. Right behind you, there's an iPad playing right there, right next to the nativebrand.com sign. So you guys can head over to thenativebrand.com and check out stuff we got on there because we got some drops. And if you want to get anything shipped out, free shipping is over $40. You can get something free shipped. So go there, buy yourself something, and we'll get it shipped right out to you. But that actual mannequin with the box on his head, it brings so much value because people see a mannequin with something going on beyond just the mannequin face.
All the little details.
Details.
In the whole store.
All about the details. Exactly. And as you can see behind even the lockers are graffitied. Got the Native brand beach towel here. We've got all the dynamics. We got the happy birthday balloons. We recently had Jay's birthday and Tyrell's birthday, so we celebrated with them.
I think I really enjoy that, and I think that the thing about that I really, as I've gotten older and I think more of my life has become about technology, I think that becomes a huge changing point for me because there was a point when I'm like, who cares about the small business? I didn't stop and enjoy those moments because I feel like I pay a lot more attention to things that borderline the word monopoly more than anything because you get companies like, you go to Walmart because it's so convenient. It has everything you've ever wanted all the time. When you ask people like where their grocery store preference is, everybody's got their own preference, but a lot of people end up just saying Walmart just due to the fact that I can get my oil changed at the same place. Like, I can buy shirts and my groceries and the new shoes and an Xbox and headphones and get my car fixed. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And then that something that you can't get at the local barista shop.
And get your pharmacy on, get your
Also, you
prescription
get your
filled.
medicines. Like the whole
everything
thing
can
is
be
there.
done there.
You could buy your phone. You could buy everything. You could go to Walmart and live your entire life and never have a problem. Which I borderline am getting to the point where I dislike that more. And I feel like when I stop into places anywhere, this is a huge example. Like I could buy a shirt anywhere, but I want to buy it from a place that I enjoy, that represents me and the things that I'm passionate about, and supporting the local businesses to me. Because if I started a local business and I wanted something that I was this passionate about, that I wish somebody would stop and support me. And I feel like I get in that mindset of like, that's what I want to see out of life. And that's why I just wish I saw more small businesses prospering and not suffering, which just sucks because I feel like we're getting so capitalism, consumer, monopoly-esque, and I hate to see it. So many companies getting bought by smaller companies and then closing out. A huge one recently is that Kroger is trying to buy, I think it's some other big grocery store brand that I don't know. It's not as familiar. It's not as local to us. But Kroger's trying to buy another grocery store brand entirely. It's equivalent of them buying like something like Whole Foods. They get to the point where now we have like 4 major grocery store brands. Somewhere like Australia is a huge example. They have 2 major grocery store brands, and that's a problem. Because if one jacks up the price, the other one will just copy, and it does not matter what the actual cost of the good is, because consumers are forced to pay one of 2 options. And that just totally destroys the consumer's point, which is something that it worries me the longer we go on, because they are trying to veto it right now. Another big one was like Activision was just bought, or Microsoft just bought Activision. That's a huge gaming. That was a couple months ago. They bought Activision, which owns COD and everything, and it was a huge scare. Like, is Sony no longer going to have Call of Duty? Am I going to have to buy an Xbox to play the new COD? That's terrifying. That's awful. Like, as much as you want to say, like, oh, I love Xbox, so that's cool. That's terrible, because then there's no competition. And they got away with it. They tried to veto it, and the government was like, it's enough, and they gave the pass, and now they own Activision. I mean, could you imagine how much PlayStation's already, like, if you look at the size of Microsoft versus Sony, it takes hundreds of Sonys to match one Microsoft. Their company net worth is insane. Microsoft owns an insane amount. If you ever want to see some crazy net worths, look at the 2. You could combine, I think it's every fast food establishment, and you don't have the same net worth as Microsoft. Including McDonald's, the name brand that everybody knows, because it's such a such a very big part of like big technology-based things, and they have their fingers in so many different gaming industries, actors, stuff like that. So I think that's something that, like, the longer we go on and the more that certain companies start to make more money, I dislike it, because then as rent goes up, the CEO of Walmart can always afford more Walmart locations, but the dude next to me who really wants to sell his own personal stuff he hand sewed can't afford a $4,000 apartment. Something I don't think a lot of people even get to realize, because the day-to-day stresses are too much, that I can't even afford my own apartment, let alone trying to help him afford his.
Yeah.
But I would be excited to see the point when we overcorrect to that point where it's like do you want humor and interaction with your coffee? I love going into little coffee shops, love trying little hole-in-the-wall places, mom-and-pop shops. Yeah, like McDonald's is convenient, but something about like that home-cooked mom meal that's just different. And I wish more people stepped out of their comfort zone and pushed themselves to get to that point. I think that's huge.
Yeah, I think that is a good point too. Is people putting themselves out of their comfort zone to where they're trying something that's out of themselves, that they're not that's not on their regular route. That's not something that they're I feel like if you go out of your comfort zone, you're growing, right? You're growing. You're becoming something a little bit more knowledge is power. So you learn more, you become more knowledgeable about new places, you meet new people, the transaction between you and that other company, now you're putting your dollars where that company didn't have them prior, because companies live on repeat customers. You know what I mean? So reoccurring, purchases from people that and they're going to come back. When someone new comes into the fold and they purchase, they either may become a reoccurring customer, or they're going to go out and tell somebody about their experience with you, and now that just spreads to so many different places because one new person tried your spot, had a good experience, and now that promotion goes as far as anything really, because like one specific interaction can change the course of everything. Butterfly effect, if you will. So having someone new in the fold that now is So yeah, these guys are out here launching these.
I wondered what was going on. I saw a beanbag fly.
Yeah, they're
almost at me.
launching these bags.
Extreme cornhole.
Right. That's what we were talking about earlier. Actually, speaking of someone trying to throw it to the ceiling. I don't know if you can see it behind Brandon, but they're out here.
It's the one thing that's always hard because like just a few bad apples spoil the bunch. I'm not saying these people are bad people specifically. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But all it takes is like when the levy. I love that they're putting stuff out here that's free in public use. If you're willing to pay for parking or even park close
Well,
enough,
it's park for free. You can park for free for the first hour.
Oh, yeah, for sure. The cornhole that they have out here, it's borderline, it's free, which is great. But the problem is all it takes is one person stealing 3 bags, and now it doesn't work, which is hard. But I do appreciate them taking that step out there, which I do really love. But that common respect that dignity and people have, that I like that a lot. But I wanted to chain off something that you said about. Man, I'm just drawing a blank. Heading out?
Yeah, I'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, would you stop at the place to grab that out of the sheet when you get a chance tomorrow? Is that cool? Yeah.
Transfer all over tonight.
So, whoa, what happened here? An error?
Have a good rest of your night, man. Get home safe. All right. Well, I mean, it says continue stream, so I guess we're good. What were we talking about before the beanbags? Talking about businesses. That was good.
We're talking about businesses and
We went from monopolies, and I don't know how we transitioned from monopolies. We were talking about something else, and then we went to cornhole.
well, they were just out here wilding out
Oh
there.
no, I saw there's a beanbag that's over here, just big chilling by these chairs.
Yeah, they were going hard over there. So, hey, it'll shut on its own. You're good. Appreciate you. Hey, we out here, bro. How you doing? Just stay behind him. Use his mic. You can use that mic. Grab that mic real quick. Go. Ham that one that's off that one. Let's see if we.
What's up with y'all, man?
How we doing, man? How we feeling?
I'm doing good.
Yeah. What's your name?
My name James.
James.
Yeah.
Welcome, bro. Welcome to the PowWow. How we doing?
Good.
Yeah.
Doing good.
What you guys
that's
up-
the hot chip challenge?
It is with the one chip challenge. Yeah, we used to sell. We used to sell them. Nah, man, we got to keep that there. That one.
They discontinued them.
They
Now
discontinued
somebody
them.
died doing one, and they discontinued them.
For
Yeah.
real? So you can't buy them no more?
No,
Not at
they
least
took
not
them
on
off
our
the
side.
shelves. Yeah, they're done with them. Yeah, which is a shame. We've done them the last 4 years straight. We've ate one on the podcast, so we eat them right here on the podcast, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Like it's one of those things where it's a human experience. It takes human fortitude, and you just gotta get through it, man. Like it
Yeah.
tears your stomach up. It
And
felt
it's
like
just so satisfying watching somebody go through that when you're not on the receiving end. Something about watching.
yeah,
Nah,
watching
bro.
someone struggle. Yeah,
Dying
man.
off a chip is crazy.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, it
a
is.
10-year-old boy.
It was nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
10-year-old boy?
Yeah.
Who would ever even let their child even do that?
that's a real good question. Now that nobody can have
boy
it.
trying to hot chip challenge is crazy.
He was a kid, man. Yeah, but yeah, it was a sad development, and but I think there's other future stuff. I mean, we sold the dual chip, which is a different one. The guy that created the hottest pepper in the world, he created this thing called the dual, and it
I
was
remember
pretty.
hearing about that.
Yeah, we sold
Wow.
those out, but how's it going?
Now
Hi.
I had the newest hot chip. I ain't gonna lie, it was hot, but it wasn't tempted to the point like I did it for $20 and that was easy.
Hey, $20 is $20.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But thank y'all. Y'all have
absolutely. Yeah, nice to meet you,
Have a
James.
good one, sir.
Yeah, man. Appreciate
Nice
you.
meeting y'all. Yeah.
Yeah. You never know what you're gonna find here on the podcast.
I like to keep
man.
it interesting.
Yeah,
it's just
same.
side questing like crazy. It's my favorite event.
Yeah, we down here at Native on the Levee right now. We're live. People are out here playing cornhole in the kids area. There's people out there playing, hanging out. We got people in the store shopping, doing their thing. The lab is open, so they're gonna walk back there, I think.
Just got from absolutely nobody. We just got like 20 minutes of just quiet one-on-one. It's just immediately 6 people stumbling in.
Yeah.
It's good though. I like the draw and the look on their face is just so satisfying.
It is. We were actually Jay and I earlier today. We were some guys came into the lab, and the dude that was in the front of the group, he was like, he walks up to it, and because they didn't know what they were about to walk into, and the door opens, and his eyes were like, he steps back, he's like, oh, what, and then like we were like, hey man, welcome, and then his eyes were just deer in the headlights, huge, and Jay tried to look back for the
retail.
Yeah, right. That interactive retail, though. But Jay tried to look back on the footage to get the exact second. So I think Jay saved that because we're trying to collect all these reaction videos so we can drop the reaction videos and people can see their reaction. Because I really wish we would have got the reaction of the girl that threw her popcorn in the air. I was at the desk,
Comedic.
chilling like on any normal Saturday night, and she comes back there, like, walks up with her friends, and one of the friends was like, hey, you should go press the RC Cola button. And so they walk up to the machine, and when that machine opens, she had a large popcorn in her hand, and she just jerks and like it was, she must have not ate a lot after that during that movie, or maybe she got it refilled or whatever. But I would say about this much of the popcorn probably came out the top of like this much, a decent amount.
That's a funny amount, though. That's like the
it
comedic.
was all over the ground. I literally, like, they were like, oh, I'm so sorry, and I was like, don't worry, I'll sweep it up. You guys go inside, go enjoy yourselves. And they went in there, and I started sweeping up and everything because I can't have people stepping on it and make it a bigger mess. But it was hilarious that she was so natural, and like her flinch, just the flinch of it. And no one wants their popcorn everywhere. Like that was definitely not her intention. No. But the fact that it happened, definitely a highlight for me. And that happened a while ago, so it's kind of hard to get that footage now. But one of the best moments I've had. I don't even know her name. I don't even know anything about her. I just know she was shocked when that door opened, and I was right there, front row and center.
You saying that reminded me of what I was talking about earlier. The thing I really enjoy about people going out to try new things, especially like restaurants or any small store you go see, I think that's a huge thing that I really promote because, and a lot of people was like, what if I go and I don't like it? That's totally fine. The reason why I think that that's something that people sleep on is because if you go to a mom and pop shop at some little Chinese restaurant that a mom and dad and their kid owns and they're working, and you go and you have some like food that you're like, this isn't my favorite, you now learn that you're just not a fan of that, and your favorite food is definitely something else. It's definitely a weird dish. You definitely just love Burger King more than anything else, and that's totally fine. However, if you go, weird dish that I had, peanut butter and jelly burger. That sounds weird. People are like, that's crazy.
Peanut butter and jelly burger?
Dude, people sleep on that. That is one of the best burgers I've had. And it specifically is the burger joint, too, because I've had it at 2 restaurants now. I had a second one recently. I was in Cincinnati at, it was like the Milkman Shack or something, down some little restaurant place. But their burgers are more like Steak and Shake style, where it's like smashed patty. Not as good. But up in Columbus, there's a place that's got them, and that stuff slaps. And that made me like realize that it's just like those moments are what finds the most interesting, the best foods that I truly love. But the only reason I found the best foods and the recommendations that I can give to other people is because I went out and tried it. Like, I love a good Whopper. Don't get me wrong. You can hate on Burger King all you want. I love my Whopper. One of those
it's not my favorite place.
Slaps.
It's not my favorite place.
It's super controversial.
Always hurts my stomach.
It's that and Nickelback. Those are just red flag controversial opinions that I have. Yeah. And I enjoy them. But I just wish more people would take the opinion of like, no matter what, I gained something from this experience. If you go out and just try something. If you go out and you're like, I didn't really like the park. You enjoy gaming more than anything. You enjoy watching Wheel of Fortune more than anything. Just go try something different to remind yourself how much you enjoy and the things that you have to appreciate. Yeah. It's the things that everybody is always like when you're going through something scary or hard or you're going to lose somebody. You're always like, I didn't know what I had till it was gone. Give yourself that in healthy reminders. It'll keep your relationships, your mindset, everything else. I think it keeps it healthy before that point. So you're not like, oh my gosh, it's so crazy. I didn't know what I had. You are constantly reminded. So you're treating the other people in your life with more respect, because people always go, I'm going to clean up my act now that my girl is going to leave. My boyfriend's going to leave. I'm going to clean it up. Give yourself reminders that that person has a huge impact on you and they're doing things for you that you don't want to leave your life. The only reason you find that out is because you spend some time apart and you go, wow, it's really nice that they make dinner 2 nights a week. I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Same with like anything. Like I really like this store because there's no experience that this store that I get customer service like this, that I have a connection to the people who work here, to the brand, to everything. I don't get that at Walmart.
Yeah. But we don't have any automatic checkouts. We don't have anything like that. We are just right at the register. You come up, have a conversation with whoever's working it, myself, Jay, or Tyrell. We have conversations with people every single day that are from all over the world, man. And that's one of my favorite parts about working here at Native on the Levee is being on the levee in general brings a melting pot of people. This last weekend, who did I meet on Sunday? It's always interesting talking on Tuesdays after the weekend because so many different people come through on the weekends. But this weekend, people came from. I sold some merch to someone from San Francisco. They were here with some family and friends that live in Cincinnati, so they were showing them the store. I recognized the people from Cincinnati. I saw them here and there. They're like, we brought people from San Fran here. They're excited to check out the lab. So they went back there and did that. They purchased the shirt, which was cool. I found the lab tee. Got to take it home. You know what I mean? And then someone was from Canada. We in San Francisco, Canada. There was a few Chicagoans. Someone from Atlanta, because I got to talk about the potential that we may end up in Atlanta one day. That's the goal. And I got to talk about... This was mostly on Sunday. Sunday, it brings all the tourists at the end of the day. Sunday is literally the day that people come in here from all over the United States, all over the world. We've had people from Japan. We've had people come from Australia. We had people come from, where was it? Switzerland? Sweden, maybe. It was a little while ago, but people were coming here internationally for work. And they're engineers. They'd come into the United States, do their job, and head back. We have people come here all over East Coast because East Coast, we have the highway, so people have to travel, and they stop at the levee on their way to Florida or the way up to New York or whatever. So they'll stop through because the levee is, has the aquarium, has the movies, has, shopping, has really good place to eat. They've got, the levee's close to Cincinnati, so everyone's coming here for different reasons. So we get a lot of people from the East Coast, but a lot more on the West Coast this last weekend and the weekend before. I've noticed a lot of West Coast, a lot of Texas. Texas is coming in, showing out. So people are coming from all over, and it's pretty amazing to me because they step into our store and they're like mind blown. Their eyes are wide. They're wide open. They're completely, I would say not overwhelmed, but there's a lot going on in the store.
It's very stimulating.
There's a lot
going on
here.
It's just very personal touch. I feel like that's everywhere. The minute you hit the store, everything feels not like something you see anywhere else. A lot of like stuff you either see online or in one place or another, but to see it all collaborated. Like I can't look around the room. There's a giant Campbell's spray paint can. When's the last time you've seen that? I got the Mario Kart characters up there. That touches a place of my nostalgia. The static TV. I can feel that TV from here, just touching that and feeling that static. It's all the small things. The Liquid Death, I recognize that. 513, that's my brand. That's my home. That's my native. So I think that's very, very nice and something that it does well here that other places don't because they're too afraid to step in the controversial zone where this isn't everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. That's totally fine.
Yeah,
but for the people that is their cup of tea, this is their ride or die moment. It's their generic dad with Top Gun. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's just your ride or die moment. It's like, I've seen that movie 22 times. That's respectful that you love it that much. It's just not my cup of tea. But the people that do, you get the passionate, the fans, the followers, the people that love it. And I think that's something that's super, super big.
Oh, for sure. And really, at the end of the day, we are trying to be that melting pot for people. We want to be a place where people can come and hang out and be comfortable. We've created a hangout culture here. So you're here and you're able to, hang out with some friends, hang out with the homies, talk about, sports, talk about up and coming fashion trends, talk about things that we're finding on the internet, talking about, what's your next move going to be. We have a lot of artists that come in here and sit with us and we collaborate. We sit down, they sit at the chair, and we're like, hey, this is what we're doing. Do you want to be a part of it? And then they're like, yeah, I can contribute this, and then I can be, a staple in this experience. I got new music, new art, I'm releasing a music video, whatever they may be doing. They might want to wear native in the music video. They may be doing they might be playing a live show, live performance. There's a lot that we have conversations at the desk, and I feel so fulfilled that our plan for the culture that we were trying to establish has, connected with so many people and connected with so many creatives and connected with so many like-minded individuals that are here for the same goal or a similar goal or something that we can all work together to possibly achieve as a collective, as a community, as creatives and forward, progressive thinking humans. And we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to get to a destination that is, uncertain. We don't know where it's going to end. This is about the journey for me personally. As Andrew Eisler in this world, working every single day to better myself and to make the most of my abilities and experiences and to just try to create something that other people can resonate with. I'm here to work with others. I want to create, I want to elevate, and I want to make the most of this life. And to do so, I think working with like-minded individuals has really helped speed up that process. With Beyond the Stage, for example, Mike Heffron and John G. Those are my guys. They're with me every step of the way. And shout out to Zach Dennis as well. But us as a group, we're on the same page. We're trying to spread love to music and art in the same event once a month. We're going to expand eventually to do multiple events at multiple locations to spread our wings, kind of in the process of, sorting out how that's going to go. But right now, one event a month, we put all our attention for a certain artist, promote them, whether it's their music, whether it's their style, whether it's their art, whatever they're trying to, promote themselves. We're trying to double down on what they're doing. We're here for them. We want to give them a live stream. We want to give them a recorded experience. We're trying to have the crowd be involved. So there's a studio audience. People can come, fill out a Q&A form, ask the artist a question right at the show. And it's just an experience that I'm trying to bring, that we're trying to bring, that you can't really get anywhere else. It happens at Madison Live once a month. This one will be March 21st. In April will be April 25th. We'll be announcing that artist very soon, which I'm really excited. I had some shift happening with Beyond the Stage where an artist wasn't able to do it. We had a cancellation on a date. Lots of things happened. And then it shook out. The smoke cleared. And here we stand. All the dates are booked again. We're back and forward motion. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate that. It was a lot of work. It was a lot of energy and time spent to keep the show going, but the show must go on, and everything is in order, and we will be announcing quite a few of the dates here very soon. I'm really excited to get through the summer. I mean, up at this point, we've got all the way to July ready to go, and that's what we're gonna stop at the July point, and then the August date will be announced on its own right, because in August it'll be 1 full year since we did our first event on August 24th. So when we get to August 29th, which will be the year celebration, we'll announce that artist down in the future, and it'll be a whole thing, and come full circle for us at BTS Live. Yeah, but it's just something I don't take it for granted, man. It's been a lot of work, and it's been a hard time getting this all together, and it's time consuming. It's mentally strenuous because you're dealing with artists and you're dealing with people that are really passionate about their craft. Meanwhile, we're really passionate about our craft. We got Mike Heffron that does amazing work on the content creation / videography and just coming up with creative ideas to make the artist look even better than you could even imagine. We got John G with the project management into things, working on the live stream, making sure that everyone is in place and it's just going really smoothly. And he's working with Zach Dennis to kind of guide him and show him the ways and how it works. And we've done 6 of these, so we've got a little bit of time, a little bit of experience under their belt. And then I kind of do my thing. I do the interviewing. I'm right on stage with the artist. I have a guest host, which I call an icebreaker, and they they know the artist personally, so they're right on stage with me, and we have a conversation. And they know the artist personally deeper than I would, so they are able to know some things that I wouldn't know about the artist. So it's really exciting. It's a great time. If you have the opportunity, the live stream or the pre-sale ticket link is available now. So you can go to madisontheater.com and go to TV shows for March 21st, which is about a week and a half away. So we're getting pretty close. But we'll do a whole 2-week campaign where we're promoting them for this week and next week. And we'll just promote TV shows up and down. And then hopefully people come out and we get a unique experience, because he's about to show out on that stage. Like the GM of Madison Theater, as Ryan was telling me, he was like, man, I'm so excited about TV shows coming to be on the stage. He's like, but I'm nervous. And I'm like, nervous? What are you nervous about, man? Like, it's gonna be a great time. He's like, dude, come on, man. Haven't you seen TV shows perform? And I'm like, yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, that's how he's connected with me because of a few different reasons, but I did see him perform. I was in a music video with him. He was part of the Deuces video as well. That was shot here at Native on the Levee. But he's like, yeah, haven't you seen TV shows perform? Like, he's wild. I was like, dude, it's awesome. He's like, yeah, but our speakers, hopefully he doesn't, like, every time he gets on there, he gets on a speaker, he gets on some of the equipment. I'm always nervous something's going to happen. And I'm like, that makes the show great. That makes the show something that you can't see anywhere else, is that man is on that stage doing something that everyone is afraid to do, and he's willing to take the risk. Yeah, we don't want equipment broken. We don't want, someone to disrespect the venue. But man, he puts on something you just don't get everywhere. When I was a part of, like, when I was experiencing Warped Tour and all those years doing being a part of bands and just going, anything with Warped Tour, whether it's behind the scenes or just experiencing everything, anytime I would see an artist do something exceptional on that stage, whether it was pickup, when I saw Let Live, he picked up the trash can and he punched this metal trash can and the crowd was going wild. That is what an incredible experience. And I'm still thinking about it now. And that was, 6 years ago, however long ago that was. But it happened and it impacted me to a really an incredible level. And seeing that happen and the potential of something like that happening on my own show is something I just really hope. I'm really excited to see what happens. And it's live stream, so you can watch from home, and you can experience the show right from the comfort of your own home, really. And if you want to come in and see the show live in person, come check it out. We'll be going live. We go live at 8 p.m., but doors open at 7. That's the art vendor, this art vendor for 321 is what we're doing, 321 TV shows. On 321, on March 21st, the art vendor is Miss Daisy. She's really, 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 really talented. She's got original artwork. She's got all sorts of, like, array of colors. You can get whatever you want, any colorway you could think of. She does all sorts of stuff. She's great at what she does, but her name is Miss Daisy, MS.DAIIIISY. 4 eyes in there. But yeah, really excited to see her. I'll be doing a little interview with her as well, so she'll get her chance to explain what she does. We're going to record that one and probably post that separately. But yeah, the Beyond the Stage Live, this will be the 7th one, BTS Live 7. So come to Madison Theater, Madison Live on next Thursday. So we got this coming Thursday and then the following Thursday, which we'll talk about a little bit more next week's podcast promotion, But for anyone that's watching right now, this is what's going on. And anyone questioning where Jay's at, Jay had to take care of something, so he is not here. It's just us chilling. We're having a good time. This is Brandon. How are we doing, my dude? Anyone that's tuning in now? Yeah, man. So what is it that you do? What is it, like, we've been talking about Beyond the Stage and what I do, but what do you do? What do you like to do? What's your if you had to choose something tomorrow, you had a free day tomorrow, what's your go-to?
Oh, go-to?
Yeah.
The thing about my go-to is that I intentionally think I don't have one. I think my go-to is the throw a dart at a dartboard and decide what exciting activity that I want to do.
Yeah.
I have not said this title myself, but I've been told by people that I've acquired a nickname of the King of Side Quests because I'm the
King of Side Quests.
the equivalent of making fun of like unemployed friend on a Tuesday. I'm the guy that you're like texting on a Tuesday afternoon. You're like, hey man, what are you up to? And I'm like, oh, just in the middle of Colorado going skiing. And after
Yeah,
this,
you
we're
do
just
some
gonna
crazy
go.
stuff, bro. Yeah.
We're going parasailing after this, and they're like, you're parasailing in the winter. And I'm like, no, there's a boat resort like about 2 hours away. So just keeping it interesting, just like
You
never
do.
know where I'm going to
I've
appear
seen
the
it.
next day, never know where I'm going to be the next morning. And I think that energy is really fun, and it's that constant like, what activity am I going to enjoy? What am I going to find the most fun out of in life? And I think that's really what I feel like I enjoy out of the experience is that aspect of it. So the constant like pushing myself to try new things, new places. I'm constantly like my calendar. I try to keep it booked. There's a lot of like small things that are just going on, like Good Mythical Morning, the show that I didn't realize how many people have heard of. They're coming to Columbus July, and they're going to be live. I'll be going to do that. That'll be fun. I'm just going to appear there. People, I don't talk about it typically unless people like generally ask about it, but that's just one of those big events that I guess people are like, that's crazy. Just going to have a picture just like with the GMM cast, and that's going to be sick. And people are going to go, what, how, when, who?
Yeah.
And I love that. I always
Yeah,
just love that. You just get like one Instagram story and you're like, wasn't this guy at my house yesterday? And then tomorrow he's like out in the middle of nowhere. So I think honestly for me, it's just constantly being somewhere new, different. But if it's not that, I think it's generally just spending time with people that push me to be the best person that I can be, and honestly are just people that I enjoy to be around. So I feel like for me, it's very less, a lot of like people are very much like have a destination, but honestly, I'm not really sure that I feel like I have one. I really just want to do things that I know I can catch myself in the moment and go, I'm enjoying my moment, I'm happy, and then that's all I really want. Which I think is something that took me a really long time to get used to and kind of get comfortable with that, where I feel like I'm not always needing to progress towards something. I'm just like enjoying right now. And I really honestly, I think that's what I do. And then honestly if it's like, there's not a random activity that you said like, hey Brandon, you want to go do this tomorrow? Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't, just anything. You're like, you want to go look at shoes? I don't care.
Count me in.
Yeah, like great.
Let's go.
Just you want to go something fun? And even if you're somebody who needs something, like, hey, need a spot for this. We're about to go get hammered. Can you go pick us up at 2 a.m.? Got you.
Yeah, I think I noticed when I first saw your social media, when we first started becoming friends, and I saw your social media, and I was like, this guy is just living a wild life, man. He's out there, like, you were like ziplining. I think
I've gone ziplining. I've done.
I thought the zipline is one of the first things that I saw that you were posting, like on that like extreme side of things. Yeah, we were friends to start, but I hadn't seen you go on one of your savage adventures. And when I tuned in to the social media thing, I was like, man, this guy is like doing it right. Like he's living like to me, living the dream is. I was gonna say he's living the dream, but I digress because the dream is different for everybody. You know what I mean? Everyone, when people say I'm living the dream, sometimes they're sarcastic about it. Some people are like, I'm living the dream. Like, I'm out here doing a job that I hate and for America because Uncle Sam says I have to do that. So I have to do this. I have to do that.
Living my dream.
Living my dream, right? Yeah. So when I say living the dream, I really think the dream is however you are envisioning your life being the most fulfilling that it can be.
I see you living your dream. Just because it's not mine doesn't mean that it's not a dream, and it's not a dream that I see you enjoying and you capitalizing out of and being like, I see that as their dream. They're living the life that they want to be living. And you could just tell the passion. And I think when people talk about stuff, they're like, what are you doing? And they're like, I sell shoes for a living. And you're like, okay. There's a difference in like the people that say like, live in the dream. And they're like, I'm living the dream. I got my own little one-man shop and I just clean sneakers for a living. Man, I got a foot fetish and this just goes.
Yeah.
This just goes. And it's just everybody's into their own thing. So, for everybody that's different. And I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, no, I've got a lot of side events that I don't even have posted. And if you want to go check up on those, it's on Instagram. It's my main social media that I use is Koshen OG, KOSHEN OG. I got some interesting stuff that I try to keep up on there. And at some point I'm gonna catch up on the backlog and post like a lot of the stuff that I go do that I just take pictures in the moment or videos.
Do a throwback Thursday thing, dude. You should do a throwback Thursday into all the stuff and people are like, what is he? Because like
I get that question.
You got to check it out. How do you spell Koshen?
Koshen. It should be
Koshen.og.
Yep.
Yes, I've noticed the OG at first because the band that I was a part of was Ocean Grid, but I shortened it to OG because that's how I wanted to promote it. I went streetwear, tall tees, with gigantic OG, and then Ocean Grid somewhere on another part of the shirt. But that's how we promoted it. It was like streetwear, like let's appeal to that. Meanwhile, playing metal rock, like, you know what I mean? Like that was just the promo. But OG was kind of a part of that, a big portion of our promotion and marketing. So you have an OG in your name was pretty cool. But I also want to touch back to when you said someone that enjoys what they do, even though it may not be the prettiest thing. So we recently had that one mailman.
Yeah.
If
you live in Cincinnati, I don't think you don't know who he is.
Oh,
there's no way you can. I mean, that guy's iconic. He blew up. If you haven't, you've seen content from him. Someone showed you and said, "Dude, look at this."
Yes, he's incredible. He's just an incredible guy. He's very who he is on social media is the same as who he is off social media. He was here. He came in with no entourage. He came in by himself. He didn't have a big crew, no security, nothing that you'd ever expect from someone with 2 million TikTok followers. And the thing I found so fascinating and so amazing and so humbling and interesting and just overall cool about him is how much he threw these beanbags, how much he thoroughly enjoyed being a mailman. Yeah, he's about to do this comedy stuff. He's about to be on tour and doing his thing with Gary Owen. He's got a manager now. He actually just did a show in Nashville, and I think he's about to go to Atlanta. They're going to be in Cincinnati. They're going to be all over, performing, him and Gary Owen both. But who Gary Owen is he's a fan of the brand, so he'll come in and get his native gear as well. He actually wore a native hat when he was talking to Shaq recently, which was pretty cool to see.
I saw that.
Yeah, he had the native hat there. I got the yin yang for the Mad Scientist on. That's what I'm rocking. If anyone's curious, and I got the graffiti logo on right now. But so the mailman, that's the thing. He just loves delivering mail. He loves being in his community, and he loves just doing his thing. And even though he's in a small area, Price Hill, it doesn't matter. He loves doing what he does. And I was pretty amazed by his passion for that. And when he was talking to us about, I just love it. He wasn't fabricating it. He wasn't giving us some sob story. He wasn't playing his role as it wasn't acting like it was a small role. He was like, this needs to get done properly. You got to take pride in what you do. And he didn't care what that was. He only took pride because he loved what he does.
Yeah,
and I was really amazed by that. I thought it was really admirable. I was definitely taken aback. I thought he was going to be, I got 2 million subscribers. I do this. I do that. I do this. I didn't know what to expect, but I kind of envisioned like the potential, like, oh, this person is blown up on social media. This person was brought onto the Bengals field. This person has all these accolades in such a short amount of time. Who is he going to be? He comes in, most humble guy, really cool, really down to earth, really open to the conversation that we had. So the mailman, huge shout out, man. Huge props to you, my dude. Like, I was really impressed. I thought it was a podcast. If you can go check it out on the Native TV, type of Native TV, one word, presents the PowWow, and you'll see his interview up there. You can check it out. We've been posting reels on our Instagram, but just seeing what the mailman had to say and how he carried himself, I thought it was like really cool. I really did. I was really impressed. And huge shout out to Sean. Sean is the mailman, but he is definitely someone I'd love to have on again after he sees a few months of doing the comedy thing and see how his perspective has changed since pre-doing stand-up to now being a stand-up regular over a course of time, because once you get a few under your belt, once he starts to figure out what works and what doesn't on the stage, I think he's gonna crush it, man. He's gonna really crush it. I think we're gonna see some kind of cameo in the future of him, maybe in a Kevin Hart film, maybe in some kind of comedy stint. He's gonna do something big because he's the mailman. He's got his likability. He's got some charisma. He's well versed. He knows what he's talking about, but yet he doesn't go away from what he started as doing. He's very down to earth, so like you can relate to him, and he's funny. He just is funny. He's just funny in general. Just like you laugh with him. You're not laughing at him. You're laughing with him, and you're a part of what he's saying because you can relate to him. He's relatable. He's just everything you'd want in somebody that's doing comedy from a profession of delivering the mail, which is a very humbling job because you're walking around, you're dealing with the elements, rain or shine,
dogs
people
constantly barking at you. It's cold. Those doors.
Yes.
I can't even imagine driving around a UPS car with that door just being gone off the car. I look at that and I'm like, isn't that dude got snot sickles in the winter just going on his face?
Yeah.
I think stuff like that's really cool because you could tell like that dude wasn't ever doing it for fame. That dude was just delivering mail. He was just doing the job.
Yeah.
I mean, he put in reps at that job. When you see people that have been doing a job for 10, 20, 30 years, that one lady who blew up on social media because she retired from Walmart after doing that stuff for 30, 40, 50 years, she was huge. So seeing people who put in 40, 50 years, there's passion behind that job. And I mean, if they're happy, they always like you assume that you always want a job and a career that sounds cool. And I tell people, I'm like, I'm a social media influencer. That sounds super sick. But like you see how many people that are like that are just miserable at the end of the day because they're just trying to be a person that they're not. But people like that dude is himself when he wakes up from when he goes to bed, and he's able to be that at his job, and he rewards the job, I would say more than anything, because he's himself all day, all night, and I think that pays off.
No, it does, and it is paying off for him right now. I do believe he's going to see a lot of fruits of his labor come full circle, and he's going to be able to carry a legacy doing comedy and referencing back all of his experiences delivering mail and being a part of the community. So he's going to be able to bridge that influencer celebrity path of a comedian to a local mailman, and that gap can be a very difficult thing to bridge, and he's going to be able to do just that. So I'm really excited to see what happens with the mailman. So shout out to Sean. Appreciate you being on the podcast. We're definitely going to share your stuff for a while. We're definitely excited to see you rock that native hat at some point because I'm hoping we see that pop off here sooner than later because man, we gave him some beanies. We got some hats in his. He's got them now. So love to see him rocking on one of his comedy events. That'd be super dope. You never know what you're gonna see. It only takes one. And we're out here trying to support anyone and everyone that we can because this is a community effort. This is a collective. This is we are native where you're from, man. Where are you from? Where do you feel you're a native of? Is it 513? Is it 859? Is it 502? Is it the 614? Is it the 312? Is it the 213? Is it the 808? Is it the there are so many different places that people feel. You're native of somewhere everywhere. So everyone is feeling, that level of homage to wherever they're from. So we are able to bridge all those gaps. You can order anything on the nativebrand.com and we'll get it out to you. We're gonna really start focusing on getting some national promotion going, trying to get people in other cities where March Madness is coming up. So we're trying to promote to some of the teams and people that are a part of March Madness because college basketball is upon us. We're done with the season, head into the tournament. There's a lot coming. We'll be talking about that next week a little bit. Hopefully UK does pretty well. I'm hoping I'm a UK basketball fan. At the end of the day, that's my favorite team. So hopefully they do well. We'll see. We'll see. And then women's sports, man. Women's college basketball is crushing it. There's a lot of good athletes out there. There's a lot of people doing their thing. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. There's people out there that are just crushing the game, and I'd love to see them get their proper shine and be able to continue their careers, post-college and beyond. But yeah, definitely excited to see what happens in sports. Excited to see what happens with the T. Higgins situation. See what happens if Justin Jefferson makes his way to Cincy. I hope that's the case. I'll we've been talking about that for a while, and it actually is coming to a possibility that it may happen. Well, that's the rumor. So, but rumors are just that until they become official. So, hoping, and we'll see what happens. But is there anything before we head out here that you wanna touch base on, Brandon? I mean, we have been going at it for a little while, and I think that we've learned a lot about you and the stream as well. Because if you have a chance to check out his social media, he does some crazy stuff. He has a great time. He lives life to the fullest. So shout out to you, Brandon, for just being yourself and just not being afraid. That was your first tattoo, and it's a bunch of different dynamic going on. Yeah, man,
Yeah.
It's really cool. So just someone that's out there living life, and
You only got one of it. I mean, honestly, respectively, I think everybody's got their own perspective on this. But if you're a kid and your parents give you one ball and they say, "This is your one ball," the question is, what do you do with that ball? Do you put it in a case and you admire that it existed? Do you play with the ball until it's used up and it's done and you enjoyed your time with it? And everyone's got their own. Some people enjoy that case sitting in a case, and some people are going to put it in a case until I see that you're playing with your one ball, and I'm like, dang, he looks like he's having so much fun.
yeah,
But then I realize you're playing alone with that ball, and that's crazy, because then I'm like, just because you see other people doing it doesn't mean that it's having a good time. So I think it's finding that enjoyment in what you want out of life. Because there's things like, I'll go jump out of a plane. I find a strong fulfillment from that. Honestly, I think what I would say more than anything is the people that push and say, like, I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of trying new things. I'm afraid of failing. I'm afraid of getting hurt. I'm afraid of falling. Skydiving scares me. Heights scare me. New food scares me. Social interactions scare me. All of those things, those people, anybody who says that, are the people that I would kill to just take with me. The dude that's afraid of heights is the dude that I want to take ziplining with me, because the breakthrough moment in your mind when you accept that you can no longer back out of an event, your body goes into fight or flight mode, and once you realize you can no longer go into flight mode, you go into fight mode, and you just go, I'm a freaking Viking, and I am just flying through caverns right now on a zip line, and you have to enjoy the moment. And I think pushing yourself to get to that is huge. Those are the people I love to go with. Something like haunted houses, I love going with people who scare easy, because I don't scare. It's hard to scare me. If I go to haunted houses, they got to like jump on me and like tickle me, because I'm not getting scared for anything. So I think those are definitely the people that I want. So go out and try something new that you think that like it's scary and it's hard and it hurts. Like using a scooter. That feeling of getting a scooter just knocking against your ankles, that is a nightmare feeling that we all remember.
Yeah, the scooter on the ankles, stepping on the Lego.
Yeah, it's
just
the hurt moments, but they're iconic and they go away, and the pain is temporary. But the enjoyment you get from all the Lego sets you build as a kid, and those memories with your ma building your first Lego set, first time you were flying on a scooter, those are skills that you have. Those are conversation topics. Those are what make you interesting and make me want to talk to you as a person. Those give you conflicting opinions and things that I don't know how to do. And I get to talk to you about how exciting that was to fly down your first hill on roller skates and just like eat shit. And that's a really fun story, and those wounds will heal. So go out, do those things, try that stuff. It's huge. It makes a world of difference. All it takes is just getting up and going. And then the excuses, I hate a lot of people who say like, I can't, I won't. You can. You just got to prioritize certain things in your life. It's just like get 5 less Big Macs a week, and that's extra money in your pocket to go get something new, go try something, go try a new restaurant. The Brickery is one that's just a great example behind me. Just a good excuse to go build Legos with a homie, with a girl, with a friend, with your parents. It's a good excuse to go connect with people that otherwise you don't have to. And you'll have a memory now that you're not going to forget. There's plenty of memories in your head right now that you will remember for the rest of your life. Go make something that you'll remember for the rest of your life.
Yeah, right. It is literally, it is just it is just that. It is creating the memories that you are going to hold on to for the longest time. Before we wrap up here, me and Jay were talking earlier when way earlier when we were printing, and because we all do the live printing at the store, so we have conversations while we're printing and whatnot. And we were talking about the first memories. Hey, what's up? How are you? Good seeing you. Yeah. Yeah, so we were talking about memories, and hey, what's up? How are you doing? I'm
good. How y'all?
Good.
I'm good.
Yeah, we out here. Huh? Yeah, we're middle podcasting right now. We're live streaming right on. You can find us on Facebook. You can look up Native on the Levee, and you can see what we're doing. Yep. That's the Facebook page. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Appreciate it. Always love to hear other people's stories, their opinions, everything. Everybody's got their own story, opinions, and we just love to hear it. Give you my stories, give me yours. I'd love to just. It's a good place.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're. Oh, okay. I see you. All right.
Yes, I'm planning to do all of that thing. The simple fact is I see other people doing it, not only partially the city that raised me, but just people just trying to make it themselves own. And I would gladly follow y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Step behind him and just say hi in the camera. Step behind him.
The camera's pointed this way, so if you want to step behind me.
Yeah. This is who's speaking. What's up? What's your name?
My name is Brocka Knight. I would gladly hope to be on this podcast soon and graciously from my own shoe and clothesline and to support this group.
You got a piece of advice to give the world?
Hey, live and love life.
Hey, that's what we were just talking about. That's a
Man.
Yay. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.
You guys have a good night.
Yeah. Exactly what he's saying. Like, live and love life. Because
Even if it's delivering mail.
even if it's delivering mail, and we're delivering messages, and we're delivering our experiences that we live through, and we like. I love being uncomfortable. I love putting myself in new situations. I love it. I love just seeing how things work and going into something with a fresh take and coming out with a new experience.
Only way to learn is
just
getting in there, just getting in your knees, just getting in the game.
Exactly. And because I think like that and I love to be in those situations, even if someone doesn't know why I'm there, they don't like, why are you doing here, man? Like, what are you getting out of this? You're in the music scene, or you do clothing. Why are you, for example, like at a shoe store, for example. I'm not a sneakerhead per se, but I know that the cultures relate. So I go and I learn as much as I can, whether it's a smoke shop, whether it's a t-shirt spot, or whether it's a clothing spot, something that's not my own. I go in other situations and I try to learn what they've got going on, because I know these other people out there striving and making the most of their situation, so I can learn something from theirs. I'm always here to learn. If anything I learned from experience in college and doing my thing there, learning is so important, because you go into it with a certain mental frame and you come out of it all new person, just because you're taking in this information and you're using your own experiences and you're putting out something brand new with your experience plus what you learned creates a brand new entity.
You get to see how people react and how they feel about everything, and that's just an amazing experience. People who like, how do people who also came from hardships feel about this? How do people who are just very successful feel about this? You get to see that basic human reaction and see how people react to you, and that is such a nice feeling. Even people that dislike and they're like, I'm not a fan. You get to go, I understand. You have your own thing going on. This isn't your cup of tea. You like rom-coms. But the people that come in and go, dude, I love heavy metal and your shit rocks, those are the people you just don't forget.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. I mean, I did the metal band thing for a long time, and that's what led me to this point. But it was those experiences at the end of the day that got me here. Those, like, the walking down the highway, handing CDs out, literally on a highway where there was completely stopped traffic because of a wreck. Playing a show at Madison Live, of all places, where Beyond the Stage happens. But Beyond the Stage Live, March 21st. See you there. But when that stage, singing in front of a crowd, and then turns out the entire crowd knew every lyric to all their songs, but till the very last song, and letting the crowd sing as I just held the mic. What an amazing moment. Like, stuff like that, I learned because I learned that people react as you put out energy. Their energy matches, and you before you know it, you have this collective of energy, and everyone's just like in the same place in their head, in their heart, in their mind, and we're all there at the same time, vibing the same way, and that can't be replicated. That is just that moment. And learning about those experiences and feeling those experiences and like being a human with another human and this whatever situation, those compiled have made me who I am. And on top of that, it's just my personal resilience and my personal drive, and never being satisfied. Always wanting to put myself in elevated circumstances and trying to be a better man than I was yesterday. And as me and Jay were talking about off camera earlier today, as we were printing, the first memory that I had, I was 4. And my parents had just purchased a home, and we were moving in, and there were just hills of dirt in the front yard of this house, and I just remember running up and down them. They weren't huge hills, but they were gonna flatten the ground eventually. But that was as they were placing the structure of the home. There was these mounds of hills, and I was just. It made such a significant impact on me at such a young age, because I was moving from a different house to this one, and I was just having so much fun, and it was just mounds of dirt. But I remember it so vividly. I could literally see them right now as we're talking, and I'm 35 years old, and I was 31 years ago, and I can still remember them. It's wild. And my daughter is currently 4 years old. Charlie, shout out, my baby girl. But
memories make up
her
how
memories. It's her time to gain to her memories. So I'm trying to, impact her with my life by what I do, and putting her in situations where she can be like, this is Daddy's life. This is really cool. I can appreciate what Daddy does because Daddy explains, because she's in many different circumstances, and regardless of who she's with different environments all of the time, because she is the babysitter, or with her mom, or with her aunt, or with whomever she's with at the time. She's getting new environments, new situations. So when she's in Daddy's world at Native, or we're at home, we're doing stuff, I try to show her stuff that that she's going to be able to take with her in her life, and be able to utilize every single day, and create a level of her, so she can have some expectations, so she can know what to strive for, that she knows what love is, she knows what caring for another human is like. And I really take pride and joy and fulfillment in that, in raising a child and doing my best with that. Meanwhile, keeping everything else in life in order, and working on Native, and working on Beyond the Stage, and working on my multimedia company, and all these other different avenues that I've chosen to go down. Meanwhile, raising this little girl to become, hopefully ultimately the best woman that she can ever become, because she's seen these experiences. She isn't afraid to take risks. I love taking risks. I love losing is not a bad thing to me. Losing is just learning. You're learning.
You gain something no matter what, even
yeah.
when you lose. Like, I shouldn't have gambled my college life savings on black. It doesn't have to be that comedic of but putting your life savings on blackjack, you learn something. You shouldn't do that.
Yeah, right. It's true.
Typically, we do it with smaller events, like maybe let's not say that to people who have more childhood trauma about topics. Just small things like that, about how to act in public and how to treat other people, and just good business decisions. Like, I can't trust other people with good majority shareholder in my company if I don't truly know what kind of person they are. Just any little thing you do, even just the small things, like, I don't like that new item that came out of Burger King. You learn something.
Yeah. You learn what you don't like. Burger King always hurts my stomach, though. We were talking about earlier. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if the grease they used it in, the fry, like however
it's just too good to handle. That's what it is.
It tastes good.
Their fries are they've completely botched their fries. They've changed it like 7 times. You can cap on me for that, but a Whopper, I just can't. I can't top it. Just a good out of fast food burgers. That's my red flag. That's
is
one
it?
Of mine. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
I could tear that up any day.
Yeah. I would say the best burger that fast food wise, Rallies.
Okay, I was worried you were going to say something like Five Guys, and I'm like, Five Guys is like the Chipotle of like, you're no longer.
Yeah. No,
I found out.
I would say Rallies is probably my go-to on a burger sense, but it doesn't hurt my stomach, so I'm also partial to that. But I enjoy Five Guys. I mean, it's here on the levee, so it's convenient enough. We're right by there, so we're able to get Five Guys when we want. But if it's going to be fast food, I'm going to drive through, because Rallies has a drive-through. I would definitely say drive-through fast food. But do you have something against Chipotle?
I have nothing against Chipotle, but this is a discussion that I've had with people, and I ask them what their favorite fast food place is. And a really common answer I get is Chipotle. and I also get Chick-fil-A. So I have made a rule of thumb that exists. The
Chick-fil-A
definition
is fast food.
yeah, it is. But I have an
Drive-through is fast
exception
food.
that I have now made because it's the good rule of thumb, because then you get into the question of what is fast food.
Yes.
What is now considered fast food? Mr. Beast Burger that used to be through ghost kitchens, you can't order it anywhere, but it's through DoorDash, so is it fast food? You get like Domino's, is it fast food? Because you don't sit in. You can, but... So the definition I've determined of fast food is the employees have to dislike you being there and have to make it very apparent. So if you walk into a place and it is very apparent, you walk in and they just go... and then you just hear them sigh verbally, you're in a fast food restaurant. Because I think it's too easy to cop out and be like, I do think Chick-fil-A is fast food, don't get me wrong, but it's the borderline where Chick-fil-A is so good and the customer service is way too good. Their line is way too fast. Everything about it screams like not traditional fast food. You'll sit in a Burger King line and you're like, I regret this 30 minutes in. I don't think I've ever sat in a Chick-fil-A line for more than 10 minutes. Every time they're always, my pleasure. Food's always fresh. It's insane. So that's why it's like the cop out of fast food answer. So you walk into a McDonald's and they're like, what do you want?
Yeah.
We don't have that. And I'm like, I asked for napkins. And they're like, we don't have that. I'm like, I just hope you don't spit in my food. That's like my bare minimum point. So I think that's the good definition of when you ask, like, what's your favorite fast food?
So do you
They have to
think-
dislike you being there.
So with that being said, since there might be a job, there's a discrepancy. Like if you're a McDonald's and there's some kind of issue with the employees, do you think McDonald's going automated makes more sense there? Whereas on Chick-fil-A, where they're all about the experience, where they're my pleasure, the food comes quick. They have people out there with pads that are taking your order right in the line, so you don't even have to get to the machine. They're already putting the order in. So because we Chick-fil-A, I mean, you have 2 lines usually, so like you've got plenty going on. There's always a line, and yet you can get all your stuff in less than 10 minutes every time. Every time. They crush it. They crush it there. So would you say the automated makes more sense for McDonald's, and then the in-person makes more sense for Chick-fil-A? And in that case, who, if they're on the even playing field, becomes more successful?
I think, if I had to say, I think the balance of both is good, because I think there was a point where I personally enjoyed like the McDonald's because there used to be like customer service, and I think that used to be a point, at least I remember from my childhood. Maybe that's just the nostalgia in me. I think the competition is what's healthy. It's what we talked about businesses earlier. I think when it's nice, because like fast food has so many different options that it's an ever-competing market. I ask you to name 5 fast food restaurants, you can do it. I ask you to name 5 grocery stores, it takes you much longer. You're like struggling. You're like getting smaller ones. You're like, okay,
Grocery
Walmart,
stores?
Kroger,
Aldi,
Target,
Aldi.
Whole Foods. It takes you longer. I feel like if I ask
But there's
you 10,
less of them. I'd say
10.
there's.
But in general, that's less competition. So I think.
But Kroger owns most of the market.
But that's what I mean, though. That's something I talked about. Like
McDonald's
Kroger
doesn't own most of the market because McDonald's is competitive with, Wendy's, Taco Bell.
I like the difference in automation, to answer your question.
Chick-fil-A.
Is because there's so many different that they all have to bring something to the table that's different. So I think I enjoy to see. If I had to pick which one I think is more successful, it's just going to be Chick-fil-A, just due to like quality and other things. But I think McDonald's possibly could match that. But then again, McDonald's has diehard fans. I don't think Chick-fil-A fans have people who go 7 days a week, but I do think McDonald's
they can't go
has
7 days a week.
Sorry, 6 days a week. Yeah, exactly.
They can't go
They even
7.
put that window there to stop you from being like borderline. I'm gonna say addicted.
They
but
give 7 day. They give you your Sunday off.
I've met people who McDonald's is their personality for food, but I've never met anybody who's Chick-fil-A. Like people like Chick-fil-A slaps, but it's not my personality for my food choice.
I think, I can see that. I think McDonald's with the golden arches, I think it really comes down to marketing. And both are red color based, with McDonald's having the golden arches with the red and yellow, where Chick-fil-A is mostly just the red and white with the cow.
The cow was pretty funny
Yep.
for a
Eat
while. They
more
definitely
chicken.
backed off that, and I don't know why. That was so. I like that marketing. The eat more chicken with the cow. I literally had like the little plush growing up they just gave out with Happy Meal or like kids meals and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know this for years as a kid, and it was just like something about a cow saying eat more chicken was just
Funny.
everybody resonates to that's funny.
Yeah, exactly. And that marketing really worked for them. And now they're doing the personal, the
My
personal,
pleasure.
the personal anecdotes where the customer is talking to a Chick-fil-A employee, and they're like, yeah, like if it weren't for him or for her, I wouldn't be here. This was a big part of my experience. This person was great. I really will come back to Chick-fil-A because this and this and this and this. You're not really getting that with McDonald's. What you're getting is everywhere you turn, there are golden arches, and you can always count on the food being pretty consistent there, just like you can at Chick-fil-A, because you're ordering. Every McDonald's is really supposed to be similar, even though, yeah, sometimes you might get things that are a little off.
I mean, they intentionally source out their own specific potatoes for McDonald's, if you didn't know that. Every McDonald's sources out a particular potato, which they have, like, I'm going to say monopolized that. So all McDonald's fries are supposed to taste the same.
Yeah. Yeah, they're it's crazy, actually. Speaking of the potatoes, the potatoes that they actually have no blemishes. If there's a single blemish on a potato, it does not make McDonald's cut. So there are certain things that McDonald's provides. Because if you notice, there's never really like any brown. Like the fries are always identical. You know what I mean? So the worst thing though is McDonald's fries that are just the soggy ones. Like we'll get into that, but like we'll get into like quality of food here in a second. But this like soggy fries and stuff like that. Like I just feel like sometimes they're just either it's grease or what's up?
You want to go bring him out?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, of course.
I'll get on a ramble.
Yeah. Talk a little bit about
No, I think it's the innovation. I'll talk about the innovation because I think something like grocery stores having two competitors. I like the more competition because it always pushes someone to try something new, which I just think in every industry is always a good. The more competition that pushes everyone to do something unique and do something better. Where the automation of, like he said, where we may be pushing more towards the automation of McDonald's, where I walk in and I order through a machine and I don't even speak to a person. I think I'm interested to see where all of that goes because it's going to push every person in every single fast food business to try to be the best of each individual corner. And there could be as many corners in the room, honestly, at this point as you want, rather than there being 2 or 3 corners to an entire room that you feel like you don't have much options. I think any point where you feel like you're limited in life to 1 or 2 options is never a good time. But when you've got 7, 8, 9 options, when you go, where do you want to eat? And we have 32 different places to eat. I love that. So I think that's just something that's always important to have for any growing business. And just honestly, that's just a civilization when it's like, how many social medias do you have to choose from to promote your brand on? It used to just be Facebook. There was a point where it was like just Facebook, or it was MySpace, and then Facebook, and then Instagram, and then the rebranding of every single algorithm, and then you had YouTube, and then you had Vine, and then you went to, it was Musical.ly, and then TikTok. You have so many different brands out there now, and I think the option to have choice as a consumer is just always good. There's never a time that you shouldn't promote choice, and any up-and-coming brand, promotion, small thing you see, even if it's just a couple dollars, go give it your time. Even if it's just your views, your word of mouth. I think all of that stuff is definitely like massive to go give to any business, because if you had your own, how much would you just enjoy to have someone speak about, spread the word to get that off the ground? Because I mean, the first couple days, weeks, months of your business is just going to be struggle bus, feeling like you're getting nowhere. Or, I mean, if you get lucky enough to get pop off or know people, but if you don't know people, that stuff definitely, like I've had a lot of people who like wanted to start their own clothing brand, their own music, and they just couldn't get their feeding. And trying doesn't make it always happen as much as we want it to. It's the like putting in the work to be either different, craft your own audience. Sometimes for people it's like the knowing somebody, but yeah, anytime you see that up and coming, you recommended like a smaller channel, go give them a view, because if that was you trying when you're like insecure about how you're feeling in the content you're producing, I think that's huge to go. The first time, I remember the first time like I posted any videos, getting your first like 5 likes feels crazy, but when you get 100 likes every single time you post something online, then that just, it stops hitting the same. So welcome back. I was discussing earlier how you were talking about how fast food, like there's so many different options, and so how that makes them able to stop. It's more limited in the grocery industry, and I was talking about how I think it always is a good time when there's just more options on the table. When I can say like, what do you want to go get to eat, and there's 20 different options, because that pushes every single person in that 20 different categories to be peak. You have to be the best Chinese food to be like the name that people go for. You have to be the best burger, so you're constantly pushing yourself. McDonald's and Burger King are always going to be, McDonald's is going to have its edge, but Burger King's always going to want to be improving. That's why they changed their fries 77 times, because they wanted to be the king of an industry.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be. But if you already own the whole industry, you have nothing to compete for. You own it all. Who cares? That is such a bad place to be in, and I see such negative connotations that slowly catch up with the world when we have 7 businesses who own everything.
Yeah. And it's a really good point on the quality too. Like when you own, when you monopolize, when you're pretty much running the whole market, you have to continue to push yourself even further. Where if other competition, everyone raises the bar, bar after bar after bar.
You don't have to.
You don't have to eventually, but I do think people do get complacent, and your stuff will get stale in the eyes of the consumer over a course of time. So you do need to expand, but how fast? Based on competition. So remember when everyone was like with Dane Cook, or like the BK Lounge, when he would promote like the Burger King is the BK Lounge, and it was that was like the promotion for a while, and I think that was definitely Burger King pushing with Dane Cook as I don't know, like some kind of collaboration or something. But those times they're like BK Lounge, like you can't lounge at Burger King. It's a fast food restaurant. You can go in and sit down and eat. But like McDonald's, you had more chance to lounge because there was the kids play area. I mean, there's some Burger Kings that had kids play areas, but you found that mostly at McDonald's.
Yeah,
that was McDonald's.
That's
McDonald's.
your memory in your head.
Yeah. It's not a Burger King, though they had them. They existed, but they weren't like predominant. It was just wasn't your memory. Your memory was Burger King. There's a really good burger and the fries, and they had like the chicken sticks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's the chicken fries. That's
chicken
the thing
fries.
Everybody seems to love.
Right. So they have their place. But McDonald's created a culture on Ronald McDonald and the play area and food quickly. Those were the 3 things you got. Everyone didn't really talk about the quality of the food. It was about the experience that happened, at McDonald's. For Burger King, a lot of times it was about how good the food was and how good it was as a fast food joint, where Wendy's also had the same thing.
I mean, you had to compete with McDonald's, which had the industry. It had at the time, there was a point where McDonald's was, I mean, they're still like, it is the biggest fast food brand to name. So I think that's like, when you said like you have to keep improving so consumers don't get stale, I think there's too many businesses that don't have to keep improving. When you talk about something like Walmart doesn't have to continue. It may have to like want to sell new things, like when Lil Yachty makes pizzas, but Little Yachty's going to come to Walmart typically to get a brand deal. Walmart could just sit on what they have at least till the CEO passes. Amazon's going to want to improve because they still want to try to take over markets before they get over, but places that don't want to, they become complacent. And I don't like whenever big companies become complacent. I like that always being forced to push. I think when you mentioned like McDonald's trying to do things like that, it's because they were scared of someone taking the top spot. Burger King and Wendy's had to attempt to bring something to the table because you had to compete with huge brands. I always thought as a kid that McDonald's, Coke, and Pepsi were all owned by different companies. Then I realized like it's actually not that. It's really only like two companies. It's like McDonald's or Mountain Dew is owned by Pepsi, and then you've got Coke, and they own the other half. So it's very much like a lot less competition than I thought, but I still think it's like 2 drink option choices between like every major drink you have is owned by one of 2. That's not the worst decision in the world, but who's promoting to bring us something new to the table for beverages wise?
Companies will always step out. I think companies will step out and do something like Liquid Death. We talked about them. They had to compete with the market that right.
Yeah.
They came in like a creative marketing standpoint, and we as consumers love creative marketing. We don't even realize how much we love creative marketing. We just are here for it.
It's that new. It's something just different about the same. No offense to Coke, but after
Coke is
3 years, it's
yeah.
just like when someone offers something new to you, it's hard to not, because like someone like Coke, they made Coke and they made, especially like a McDonald's Coke. It's hard to beat it.
It's
just hard to beat that. They made the perfect formula. It's hard. So when you provide a new Coke, like, or any beverage, it's just like you got to bring something.
I haven't had a Coke in 7 years.
Good for you.
So wild. I haven't had any soda, pop, however you want to call it. I haven't had any of that in 7 years now. Yeah, I drink sugary drinks. I drink peach tea, and I drink. I have caffeine in the sweet tea that I drink. But actual like pop soda, some kind of carbonated beverage. Haven't had that in 7 years. So
Good for you.
remembering, good for me or not, it's just
It's still an accomplishment at the end of the day. Everyone's got their own things, but like the willpower
Sure,
to
yeah.
sit there and do that, there's people who can't do it. So
Yeah.
you're doing something that a percentage of people can't do. So I think everything, even the small things, are little W's.
Sure,
Give
a little
yourself
W's,
a little
yeah.
W. Even if
Appreciate
you're like,
that,
To
yeah.
me, it's not, but it's like I had a year where I did nothing but water, and I remember that. Actually, I think it was about 11 months. Then Baja Blast came back, and I was like, I don't want to miss out again. It's that FOMO.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. Baja Blast was definitely one of the one of the things I missed originally when I first gave up soda or pop. Everyone says differently, pop or soda. I always get people backlash,
Oh, yeah.
but
It's pop. Just
hey,
to be clear here, it's pop.
pop,
It's
right?
pop.
Hey, yeah, I said pop as well. But yeah, when I first stopped drinking it because of a job that I worked at prior to this, where we didn't have any pop. There was pop. It was in cans. You had to open it separately, and we didn't do that. Mostly sweet tea, lemonade, or water. And I watered down the lemonade because it just was better that way. But when I first started, Baja Blast was my favorite, pop to drink. I was really a big fan, and then I was done drinking it, and going to Taco Bell was weird. So I really stopped going to Taco Bell for a while because not drinking it was one of the best parts of going to Taco Bell was getting it there. Then I discovered mango tea at Taco Bell, and if you've had a mango tea or haven't had a mango tea, I suggest you either go get another mango tea if you've had it, and if you haven't had a mango tea, you should go try it because it's one of the best drinks at any of the fast food places that I've ever had.
I gotta go try it. I don't think I've ever had it, but you got
mango
me
tea.
hyped.
It's so good. It is so good. And then once I discovered that, I was good. Taco Bell, whenever we want to go to Taco Bell. Yeah, mango tea, and it's pretty solid. So discovering that and discovering alternatives through the course of giving up pop, it was kind of a challenge at first, but lemonade really took some places. Sweet tea took places. Peach tea took places. Just certain things really took the place of those pops or those sodas. I definitely. I had the Coca-Cola Tic Tac. So they make Coca-Cola Tic Tacs.
I tried those. That was bad. I had a
Dude.
bad period with those. I would go through a fucking half a box in an evening.
Yeah,
I
they
don't know what
taste
it
just
was.
like them.
It's insane.
It's
it was
insane.
like,
Yeah.
just close your eyes and somebody drops on it and you're like, did you just drop a physical Coke in my mouth?
Right.
The
Yeah.
dopamine that it brought is...
Oh, 100%.
When you stop doing it for long enough because you feel that withdrawal period for a bit, and then you get past that withdrawal period, it just feels like it's such chocolate. Anything, the chemicals just bring dopamine.
Yeah.
When you get used to
Yeah.
not having that dopamine constantly, it's kind of crazy because like if I give you a Coke right now, you'd probably be really unimpressed. I could imagine you
I
wouldn't
don't
be
even-
like, this
I don't-
hits. You wouldn't be like, this is the shit.
I don't know what I'd feel.
I can't imagine you would because you're so used to it. I feel like there'd be so much sugar and just so much like caffeine all at the same.
Yeah.
You've had off and on, so that could be different. But like, don't drink a
Sweet
Coke
tea
for a
has
month.
some caffeine a little. There's the like I'm not against caffeine of any sorts. Coffee hurts my stomach. So
Oh, yeah, I
coffee
have to.
crushes my stomach. It's unfortunate. If I drink like decaf, which is not a lot of people, really, they hate decaf, whatever. But if I drink decaf, that's the flavoring. I can handle it. But actual coffee, man, my stomach, it's rough. And the caffeine that I get in sweet tea is just enough to where it doesn't really mess me up, but I can definitely feel the caffeine, but I don't drink a lot of caffeine, so my body isn't necessarily used to that intake.
I could eat caffeine for. I used to do 3
Yeah.
monsters a day every single day.
Whew.
I know it's bad. I mean, I was working like 80 hours a week, but honestly, I don't drink a lot of things for the caffeine, like energy drinks. I just love the way they taste. If they made caffeine-free, sugar-free Monster, please, Monster, make just caffeine-free, sugar-free Monster. There's people I know who love Red Bull, but don't want the caffeine. I just like that taste.
Yeah, the caffeine into things, you just get this rush of energy. They say if you drink coffee right before you go to bed, you'll sleep better.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
It's just I wish caffeine did. It just doesn't do for me. Like I could do 3 Monsters and take the fattest nap of my life. Caffeine, I'm not a sensitive person for it. My best friend, though, he's off his rocker. He can't do caffeine. Like, if we ever get stuff, he's very picky about it. Can't do any kind of energy drinks, any of those, like, gamer subs, stuff like that that's got, like, stuff in it. He's like, I got to get the caffeine-free version. And I don't blame him, but, yeah, I feel bad because, it's just something that I don't know if I've just consumed enough that my body doesn't care. But, yeah. I think it's one of those things that when you stop doing it for a while, that it just hits you so different. Like, if you stop drinking all pop for a month and I give you a Mountain Dew, I guarantee you will almost say it's gross. The amount of just carbonation and sugar hitting you when you haven't had it for a while and it doesn't give that reminder of dopamine, it's kind of a night and day difference. I think it's a good experience to have because then you can hop off and on to give you that reminder, just like, what am I really enjoying or how much am I enjoying this?
Yeah, when I hit the decade point, when I hit the decade point of no pop or soda, we'll see. I just want to see how my body would react, because I'm not here like trying to get like a sticker like I've done this long of no pop or soda. I've just continued
to have.
I've continued it. It's really easy when you found alternatives. I don't even think about it anymore. I don't experience any FOMO. Like, oh, they're like, oh, I got a Coke. I'm like, I've got a sweet tea. Yeah, I don't know. Like, both have drinks. Like, we're both good. Cups are the same size. Like, McDonald's has great sweet tea. Speaking of McDonald's,
as long as they've washed that vat that it's in, that shit hits.
It does.
Their Sprite, their Coke, and their sweet tea, bro. That's crazy.
So good. Yeah, and that's what I get at. And that's what I get at McDonald's is the sweet tea. So I got my drink there. If I go to, like, we talk rallies, I'll get a lemonade usually there.
They got their fries on point.
Yeah, Rally's fries are definitely
I don't think anybody's ever been like, nah, I don't want Rally's fries. It's like everybody, especially if it's like, you want to get lunch, and they're like, what do you want, like Rally's fries? And respect to my mom for being this person, borderline this is almost menace activity, because like McDonald's fries, they just hit different, especially the fresh fries. But a fresh Whopper for me hits different. So my mom would go to both. We would go to McDonald's and get fries. And then we would go to Burger King and get a Whopper. And you just have the best meal. That's the equivalent. It's just like, then you just go to like Lee's and get a sweet tea. You just have the perfect concoction. Doing one of those, go spoil yourself every once in a while. Go hit all of your favorites. Get the stuff that you're like, a Whopper will stay warm, the fries will not. Just
the fries last.
Yep, because those are the things that those pinnacle fries,
Yeah. You sound like a regular foodie.
I've expanded a lot. I used to not really give... Like, when I was a kid, I couldn't tell the difference between Pepsi and Coke. Gold Star and Skyline, couldn't have told you it. I was naive. If it was good, it was good. But as the year came on, this year has just been a huge amount for me. So I like a lot more just trying things and formulating opinions, because it gives me very interesting conversation topics. Because almost everybody has a point in their body that resonates. Like, a lot of people are like, I don't do fast food. That's fine. That's totally fine. I can find other topics. But a ton of people are like, oh no, I'm a diehard Wendy's Nuggets fan. That's it. Some people, spicy nuggets from Wendy's, those were a game changer when those came out. Everybody, I feel like there's nobody who didn't remember that. Then they got rid of them. People petitioned and got Wendy's to put them back because there was such a diehard fan base. So it's just like such an easy topic that it's one of those things that's like, I think the industries where we have to rely on them. It's like grocery stores, clothing stores, like anything like Amazon, where it's providing essentials to us at like ease of access, fast food. We all have to eat. We all have to sleep. We all have to die. Like, there's just activities in life that we have to go through. So, it's harder, like somebody like sneakerheads. We all wear shoes, but to be like really in there is very different. But fast food, everybody's got an opinion. I've yet to find somebody who didn't have this is my favorite fast food. Yet to find anybody. It's always just a good common ground. You ever don't have something, ask somebody, hey, food related question. We all eat.
Yeah, you do. Everyone has to eat. You have to eat. Now, fast food, it's not something I eat a lot though. So I'm a big shopper, grocery shopper. I have a daughter, so going there and getting what she likes and being able to eat at home, those are things that I do on the regular. Fast food is not something I go to all the time, but when I go to, like, I'll get what she likes, I'll get what I like, and we'll do our thing. But I'm definitely a grocery shopper, but fast food, definitely in my opinion, Definitely, like certain things more than others.
You've had enough time, especially like
Experience.
especially college years.
Yeah.
There was plenty
Exactly,
of times where you
college
did
years.
McDonald's like
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 times.
Wendy's
a night.
was always my go-to there.
See, everybody had a go-to period, and that's
Yeah.
just such a good because it
Yeah,
resonates
Wendy's
a
was
happy mind in your brain,
Yeah, yeah.
dude. It's just such it's a good topic. I love
Wendy's
that.
was definitely mine. I remember one time I went to Wendy's, and I was living in Lexington and going to school down there and all that. And I worked at Macy's, and I had very little to my name, very few dollar bills. I was balling on a budget every single day, but I was in the drive-thru at Wendy's, about to go get my meal and get to work, to the mall where Macy's was at, the Fayette Mall. Anyone knows? Familiar? So I'm like sitting in drive-thru, right, at Wendy's, and I had very few dollars to my name, so I got 2 junior bacon cheeseburgers, and then I got a drink. At the time, I did drink pop, so I believe don't remember what I was drinking at the time. Didn't matter, but I'm in line, and I get to the window, and I had like no money. Like my bank account was on fumes at that point, just because college, and I was doing my thing and paying the dollar bills, covering my expenses and everything. So as a working student, person behind me paid for my food. Real talk, person behind me paid for my food. At least that's what they said. It could have been the person before, but the person behind said, "Hey, the car behind you, while you wait in line, covered your meal. You're good to go."
And you don't even know who that dude is.
Don't know who that was.
Never
But I could
meet
see him
him.
in the rearview mirror. I was like, and like they literally paid it forward because I was in front of them. It wasn't the person in front of me that paid for the person behind. The person in front saw my car, whatever the case may be. I don't know what indicated for them to pay for my food, but they paid it forward, and quite literally. And I was amazed. I didn't know what to think. I was like, what? Like, because there was no one for me to pay for. The person had already gone for me, so I wasn't covering their meal. I wasn't paying for the person behind me's meal
They just paid
because
for their own and yours.
yeah, they just covered it. and I could tell the person behind me, they were in an SUV, so they were in a larger vehicle. I couldn't even see who was in the driver really because of the angle they were parked. Behind me, they were pretty close to me, and I'm like looking back, and I couldn't see because they had sunglasses on, so I was just like, I can't tell who that is. Do they know me? I didn't understand. I didn't know what indication was it me. I had a UK sticker, on the back. I was in Lexington, so of course, like UK stickers are obviously everywhere, so there's no indication there. And I was just like, what is going on? But it changed my outlook right then and there, dude. Right then and there, I was like, all right, someone is willing to pay for me that they don't even know who I am or anything about me. Something screams student. I don't know. I was in a Chevy Cavalier. Like I was in, that's like literally that there was no indicator of anything about me. I didn't have any music stickers on. I just had the UK sticker on the back window, no bumper stickers, nothing like that. No indication on my license plate of anything about me. Just a mystery person. And they paid for my food.
You'll never forget that.
They didn't know how much it was. Literally, they had no idea. I hadn't paid yet. They just paid for my meal, and it wasn't a lot. The whole total was like just like $5. It wasn't even very much at all. But this person did it. So that point forward, I realized paying it forward goes way further than you realize, because I was a struggling student that they didn't even know. They might have got some indicators based on just the UK sticker and I don't know what set them off to do it, but changed me, dude. It changed my outlook. So I started paying it forward myself, and I've done that, whatever. And it's not important, but they taught me without realizing what they taught me from behind me at a drive-thru at a Wendy's in Lexington, Kentucky. Like really, like they changed someone's perspective, and that really sits deep within me on the giving end of life, because you you get as
can
much
give
as you
someone
give.
a memory they'll never
Never forget it, dude. I'll never
For
forget it.
$5.
For $5, literally for $5. Like yeah, like it's fine now. There's
Can't
no
even get shit for $5 anymore.
yeah, right. And
I can't even go to Wendy's for $5 anymore.
yeah, well, the biggie bag. which
Yeah,
is-
but it's you know what I mean.
right. But that's the thing is like you're saying, like the world has changed. So for $5, they changed my world. They made me feel like a stranger can care enough to put themselves out there without even getting anything back, because I don't know their name. I didn't get it. She didn't say, "Oh, this was
Especially like
compliments of John Smith," or "This is in the compliments of Jane Doe." "This is in the compliments of Steve," or whomever. Just person behind you paid for your food. You're good to go. Have a good one. And they hand me the stuff, and I was like, "Pay for my food? Excuse me?" And like, "Yeah, gentleman behind you paid for your food. Have a good day." And I'm on my way to work a shift, at Macy's. So I'm like, kind of low key in a rush. So I'm like, okay. I put like, I had cash, so I put that back in my pocket, and I was like, okay. And then I drove on. I was shocked. And they stopped, and I was gonna wait for them, and I waited for like about a minute, but I really had to go. I was already late. I was getting later. I was not that far, but I was close enough to where like I was gonna have to really be cutting it close just to get in time for.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it was like a whole thing. I was like, I was just like, oh man, like I want to thank them, but like I'm already like in hot water at work with like some stuff because we're, the GM was there. There were so many factors in my head. I was like, but this person just paid for my food. What do I do? Like as a human, I was like, I was humbled and I was confused, and I knew I had other life to tackle, but this person just covered me and saved me so I can get more gas in my car, because at that time I was also traveling 2 times a week for band practice. Every Wednesday, every Sunday for like 12 years, band practice. Don't miss a band practice. Not Wednesdays, not Sundays. Band practice, because that's how you make it. Things happen. It's practice. So I would go every single time. It was like my life. So that extra money got me to, I had to drive to Independence, which is an hour and some minutes from Lexington, twice a week. It was a lot. I made it happen because of people like that paid it forward. So huge shout out to a stranger who maybe one day you'll hear this, but appreciate you for paying for a young college student's meal and making the difference on their life, man. That's it's huge.
I'll give it 2 things so we can
We
wrap
can
it up.
Yeah.
First thing, if you don't have pop and you like Wendy's, if you've never had it, Dave's Strawberry Lemonade. They have it at Wendy's. That is the best lemonade besides Minute Maid Zero Sugar. But if you want to get a fast food lemonade and you are out at a Wendy's, Dave's Strawberry Lemonade. It's the in-house one they make there. It's not from a fountain.
It is fire. I love the strawberry lemonade.
Holy moly, that's a game changer.
That's
If
my-
you haven't had, oh,
That's what I get at Wendy's is a strawberry lemonade.
it's
I should
hard
probably
not
mention
to.
that.
It blows everything else out of the water
Yeah,
once you have
yeah.
it once.
Yeah, for sure. So the strawberry lemonade at Wendy's, mango tea at Taco Bell.
If you're at a grocery store, Minute Maid Zero Sugar,
Yep.
and just in a jug. And I know you're like aspartame flavor or anything like that. If you've ever had like a lemonade at like a fair, it just tastes. I don't know what it is. At least maybe it's just me. And I've had other people try and say that's real good. You wouldn't expect it. Don't get the non-zero sugar. It tastes weird. The zero sugar Minute Maid lemonade. Don't do any of the other brands. I've tried them other ones. That's it. I don't know why, but Dave Strawberry, Taco Bell Mango, and Minute Maid Zero Sugar. Those are your lemonade options.
What about McDonald's? What's your go-to drink there?
I think it's a Coke. Honestly, those just hit different.
Yeah.
Or a sweet tea if I'm getting a McChicken, I feel like it's a sweet tea, and if I'm getting a burger, it's a Coke.
Okay.
But
So you have your selections within your selections.
yeah, definitely like it's like certain foods just pair well together, like fried
Right.
chicken and just fucking sweet tea. That brings out the southern in me, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah. I totally get it. Mine is definitely sweet tea from McDonald's. If I'm going to McDonald's, I'm getting a sweet tea. Mango tea from Taco Bell. Strawberry lemonade from Wendy's. And then let's see here. If I'm going to Gold Star or Skyline, whichever you prefer, I'm
Sweet
probably
tea.
getting the sweet tea from there as well.
It's just too good.
Most places, if I can't decide on something, I'll go with a lemonade and I'll ask for water on the side, and I will water down the lemonade a little bit because some lemonades are pretty tarty. So I kind of try to get something to balance that out. But for the most part, it's all my go-to is going to be sweet tea at the end of the day.
It's always like unless it's an unwashed vat at McDonald's, because you can taste when the sweet tea's been that vat's been unwashed, and it's just a sad time. But when it has been, it just hits different. But the second thing I'll give, because I think we've kind of touched on this a lot. It's just a quote that I love. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's just if you wake up, be the person that you wish somebody was for you every single day, and by the time your life is done, you will live a life that you will be happy with.
It's great, man.
Paying it forward for someone else.
Yeah, man.
How much of a difference that would make for you. Just being the nice guy. When you speak to someone, just stopping your brain when you are about to say something shitty to a random retail employee and go, if I was in this position, how would I want to be talked to?
Yeah.
It's not that dude's fault.
Exactly.
I know that. I know your McDonald's is behind by 20 minutes. That dude has nothing to do with the 3 call-offs. He can't control those people. That random dude at Kroger cannot help that they are out of chicken broth because one dude bought 20 cans for a weird YouTube video he's about to go film.
Yeah.
They don't have the control over that. Talk to them like you want to be talked to. You don't want someone to talk to you like that. When someone accidentally has to merge late in the lane, and yeah, it's really annoying, and it's nice to get that steam out, so get it out in your car, not to them. Don't go flip them off. Just treat them like you want to be treated, because you've had days where you're stressed and tired and exhausted, and you just need someone to not make it worse, or someone to just say, I like your shirt, your nails look nice, your hair looks nice. How much of a difference, how many compliments you've got a compliment in your life. I've gotten like at least one that I've never forgotten.
Yeah.
So be that person, because when your life is done, flashing back, if you can see all the people you've had an effect on, you don't even realize it, because you shouldn't do it for that moment, but you've had it. If you live your life like that, you'll have had that moment, and that's something that I think is something that you should easily be proud of.
Well said, man. Well said. Appreciate your insight. Appreciate how you view the world. Everyone has a different lens that they look out of, and our perspective is everything, because your perspective is your own. Someone's perspective of you is very different than your perspective of yourself, very different than the perspective of the person next to you and the person on the other side of you. So looking for a little, human decency and respect. That's really what I really focus on in life, is the respect of things. Respect me. I respect you. We all win. We all go out. We all go out winners at the end of the day, because you gained respect by giving respect. You know what I mean? Because no one knows where your shoes have walked. The 500 miles in someone else's shoes. No one knows where those 500 miles were, where they went, and how you got to be in front of each other, right? So respect wherever they went. Maybe you've walked way further in your 500 miles. Maybe they've just gone in a complete circle for all 500. But let's say your 500 miles are here, 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 here. And your 500 miles are very different than theirs. But their 500 miles are something you can't experience. No way that you can do theirs and yours at the same time. So respecting their journey just as much as they should respect your journey would lead to a much more harmonious world. Everyone would work in unison if they understood the other person has something of value that you don't bring to the table. We all bring something different, and respecting that in another human is something that can go a really long way.
Huge life change that I think I noticed. When you talk to people and you have a similar experience, just because you both walked north 200,000 steps does not mean that your weather conditions were the same, or that you had the same shoes on, or that you had a friend with you and you walked those 200,000 steps. Just because you both walked an experience together that is similar does not mean you had the same. Something I definitely made a huge difference is when I talk to people and they have a similar experience, no matter what it is. If you say, I went through abuse, I went through verbal, physical, emotional, my parents were shitty, my ex-wife was shitty, my brother was shitty, my dad is shitty, my mom is shitty, all of those people, we all have an experience where we can say, like, our dads did things to us that we didn't like and they were shitty at one point. But the difference is when I speak to you about it, I make sure, and I try to make this difference, so maybe possibly take this into the way you talk to people. When you're talking about your experience, and if you say, like, my dad was a really bad person and he hit me for reasons that weren't justified, instead of saying, I understand how you feel, you look at the person and say, I don't understand exactly what you went through, but I'd like to believe that I can try to sympathize with you because I had an experience that not the same, but reminds me of how you look like you feel when you talk about that experience.
Well, you look a certain way, and you are producing an energy a certain way because you're feeling a certain way, and when your energy is being exerted, then others, their energy connects. If you're in a space where they're open to take your energy, because we as people, transmit energy in many different ways. People do it physically by touch. They do it by the emotion that they exert. They do it by simply being in the room and just letting their presence be known. Everyone does it differently, and but they can't really control it. Energy is inherent.
It lets
it is inherent. It's natural, but everyone takes energy differently because your energy may not mix with someone else's. You may have the same opinion, you might have the same everything, but you just don't vibe. And it's the strangest dynamic.
Yeah.
You talk to two different people and you're like, you guys kind of sound alike, but then when you guys get into the same room, clash. Because opposites do attract. There is that dynamic, and I think that is true. Yeah.
Because both of you, if you're raised in the same environment, you typically get the same opinions of like hard-headedness and stubbornness, but they're on different topics. It's the marginal differences. But when someone has an experience that you feel that you can relate to, understand, sympathize, I think that's really cool. Just make sure that sometimes when people speak about their experiences, it's about being heard. Because if someone says to me, I had a really shitty experience with my ex-girlfriend because she was really shitty, and I cut you off and go, oh, I know how you feel. For some people who are really good at communicating and have a really good social understanding, if I'm best friends with you and we're on the same page, that can be nice. But if you just are trying to open up and get something off your chest, you deserve and should feel heard, and other people deserve that way, and other people deserve to feel heard, and you can do that for someone else. So let them talk, even if you're like, I know how you feel on this topic. Sometimes it's just about the letting people feel heard, that it makes you a very good listener. It makes you more open to hearing things, because sometimes you don't know. And also, just because you both went through the same experience, you can be in the same building. Your brother and sister went through the same abusive household, but yet both have different opinions that I can say, I kind of think I deserved it because I was a bad kid. And he goes, my dad was an abusive person. Two people, same scenario, same thing, but yet both deserve to be heard out, instead of cutting them off and saying, yeah, I know what dad did.
Yeah.
Listen to me on how I felt with my experience, because it undermines the person when you talk to them, even if you don't mean to. It's how you come across when you go, oh, and you cut them off and say, I know how you feel because I had a similar experience. It's that just difference in saying, like, I don't understand how you feel because I never will, but I can try to sympathize with you, and I'm really sorry that this happened. Or I can say, I can try to understand, but let them finish the story, but say, but here's the reasons why I feel differently, even though I understand why you feel that way. And I think you have 100% reason to feel how you feel, because everyone has a reason to feel the way they feel, even if you don't agree with it. You're like, I think you're very unmotivated and you sit home all day and eat nothing. And you go, I understand that you feel that way because of life events, but I don't agree with the continuing to do that. I am more of a fan of getting up and pushing to try to find something new. Just letting people feel heard is a super good thing. So that's something good thing to touch on, I think, before we wrap it up. Just make other people feel heard when you talk to them.
That's very, very relatable and very insightful. I do agree. Being heard is, you can't put a price on it. We live in a society where, as we'll wrap it up as this ends here, we live in a society where we're desensitized to a lot of negative things. We get our heads are filled with negative stuff every single day, whether it's stuff going on in the world, like these shootings that are happening left and right all over society, where there's been more shootings than days of the year so far, which is insane to even think about. But or the government doing something that people think is suspicious, or the possibility of war, or all these different data breaches. outages where people are, their phones aren't working, where phones go in SOS mode, and it's terrifying because, your child is, staying the night somewhere as a sleepover somewhere, and you can't even trust the person that's running the show there, and you can't get a hold of them, or all these different crazy events that are out there in the world that are making things terrifying. But every experience is different, and you have to listen, and you have to be very open, but you have to be very aware that others are doing things differently than yourself. And you have to be aware that your walk is not the only walk. Others' walks of life and others' experiences are valid. Their feelings are valid. Doesn't make your feelings any less valid, but it does matter on another person's end, because we are looking at each other from two different sides of this table. I'm sitting in one of the host chairs, and you're sitting on the couch. But we have two difference. Wave one more time. Wish this camera was working, but that's normally the store. But we have another camera here, which is leading to this right here. You can look up there. You can see, hey, what, ski. But we have two different experiences. And I can understand exactly where you come from in certain angles. And other times, I'm like, I don't understand at all. I've never jumped out of a plane. I've never done that. I've zip lined. I've went there. I've went into caves. I went snorkeling. I went to deep parts of the ocean on a boat, where if we were to be lost at sea out there, it would be a scary situation. I've been on boats. I've been on a jet ski. I've been on a four-wheeler, quad, whatever. I've been on a motorbike. I've wrecked a motorbike. I used to do backflips on my BMX bike. I used to do parkour where I'd flip off walls. I've probably done 3,000 wall flips in my life. I've traveled all over the country. I've been to Hawaii. I've been to, all parts of America. I've traveled. I've toured in a band. I've gotten to see all these different experiences, and have been amazing. And I've learned a lot. But they're just my experiences. And just like you. You've had your experiences. You've done some cool shit. And I respect what you've done. And I respect what a lot of people have done. And I'm here to listen to them. And I'm here to give my 2 cents as well. And collectively, my 2 cents plus their 2 cents. We got 4 cents to our name now, man. And that's really, it goes a long way. Because, without these experiences and able to talk about them, no one would know.
And thank you for that, by the way. Shout out. I appreciate you, and the least I could do is try to reciprocate that energy that you have provided, that you have just given off since day one of meeting you. So shout out to you for being that person that you are. It's a great person.
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I'm not. I mean, my life is my own, and I will continue to live it, and I will just keep pushing forward regardless of where it leads me. And I feel like I'm just getting started in whatever I'm doing. And I take it humbly, and I take it very grateful. I'm very grateful of everything that has come my way. I've worked very hard to get to this point, to whatever point I'm at now. I've worked hard up until this moment in time, regardless of what that even means. The past is the past, and the future will be the present eventually. We'll see what happens when that time comes. But I'm going to continue to work hard, because it's what my daughter deserves. It's what I would be doing a disservice to myself if I did not put all my efforts and all my energy and all my ability into making my life my own and taking risks, man. I like to take risks. I'm not afraid of the uncertain. I'm not afraid of what could happen if the risk fails, because failure is not a bad thing. Failure is something you learn from. Failure is something that it creates new opportunity. And one of a thing I've been kind of like speaking on more and more is I try to think of ways to look at the world, and I'm really, my goal is to have the inner peace and to be fulfilled in what I do in life, and but build it piece by piece for inner peace. Build it piece by piece for inner peace. If you build it, they will come. Create something that cares for people, that cares for the human experience, and share it with others. and see what happens. It'll inspire someone that you don't even know it inspires, because you're putting your energy in the world, and they'll inspire you right back, and the inspiration will compile and build a gigantic snowball and fall down the hill and become a gigantic snowball, because all you had to do is put yourself out there and just see results, because results will come.
They always will.
They will. And I'm a huge believer in result-based industries, because if it's one of those things where you can't see the results, all you do is just you work and you can't see what's happening in the world, and your impact is minute. And to me, the impact being minute is all perspective. Because some people are like, oh, I don't matter. My actions don't matter. They do. You may not directly see it, but they do matter. You matter. I like more an impactful where there's only 3 of us that run the entire native on the Levy store, and my impact is directly seen because that's what I want out of life. But some people want a more low key lifestyle. They want to just maybe take just an order at a restaurant. They don't want to be just through the drive-thru. They just want to sit there. They don't want to be on camera. They don't want to be on anywhere where there's extra attention. And then there's some people out there that want to be on the main stage at a festival in the headliner position. Those 2 people can exist in the same city, same town, go to the same high school, be built up from the same society, and go 2 different directions. They could be in the same math class and end up at those 2 different places.
Yeah,
and I think
still be happy.
And still be happy. And I think it's amazing. And I think there's mad respect in someone that's willing to do whatever it takes for fulfillment in their life. But if you do want change, you got to make the change, man. You got to make it. It's up to you as a human. And I appreciate the kind words, Brandon. I really do. I am, I am just myself. I'm Andrew Eisler. I am a dad. I am a musician. I am.
And you have a positive impact on other people.
And
you're a great guy. Respectfully. Take what you want for what other people's opinions are worth. But at the end of the day, great guy, somebody who has a positive impact on other people's lives. I'm just one of hundreds of examples. I'm sure of it. So
I appreciate that very much. You got me in my feels. I appreciate it. Thank you. I don't know. I'll still end the podcast. So coming up, we got Beyond the Stage Live at Madison Live, where we'll have TV shows. His TV stands for Talented Visionary. Shows is his last name. Brandon Shows. He'll be on another Brandon, actually. He'll be on my show, Beyond the Stage Live, on March 21st, which is next Thursday coming up. It'll be 7 p.m. for the doors. The show will start promptly at 8 p.m. and will be live streamed. We got some surprises. It's going to be a good time. And shout out to TV shows, and shout out to Miss Daisy. She'll be the art vendor that night. And shout out to you, Brandon. Appreciate you being on the pod. We've been talking a lot lately, gathering each other's information and just getting to know each other. And you've been around for a little while now, and I really respect you, your take on life. So, and I respect that you respect us. We all work together as beyond acquaintances. We're friends. So, thank you for your existence, and thank you for being in our presence and doing your thing and just being yourself and telling us about all the cool movies you see and all the cool stuff and sharing your life on social media as much as you do. And thanks for taking the risks and we're here to see the outcome, because the outcome is in front of us. And your 500 miles are pretty interesting, man. So I appreciate you taking your time to sit down with us tonight, even though Jay is taking care of the fam, doing his thing at home right now. So I want to just say thank you for anyone that's viewed any of our podcasts, getting to know us over the years. We've been doing this 207 episodes now, which is a pretty good chunk of podcasts. They say most podcasts only go 3 or less. So we've done that, then some. So, but I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Everyone that always talks in the chat and engages with us at the store. That's
you make things possible, man. Just know you every moment that you give, every moment you share, every second it's making towards something, towards someone, towards a goal. That's a positive impact that you're having that you don't even realize. You forgot it tomorrow, and you had that. Because if somebody did it for you, it would feel that way.
It would. It really would. And quick shout out to Dead Tooth Art. Shout out to Madison. She's awesome. She does really cool art. She was a part of one of my Beyond the Stage events, which is a really cool experience. She gave me a cool piece. And she does awesome work. So check out Dead Tooth Art on Instagram, Facebook, and all the social medias. Her name is Madison, and she is Maddie. She is awesome. And me and her are going to do a podcast soon, so I'm excited to chop it up with her and talk about all the things. But things, words, and stuff, phrases, all the information. But yeah, appreciate y'all for tuning in for another episode of the PowWow. I'm Andrew Eisler, aka AI, and we got Brandon Savage tonight. Appreciate you. BS would be short for you, but
yeah, it's if you tell her the middle name is BLS, if you want to get technical.
BLS,
so, yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad for the BS.
Yeah, I'm ACI, but AI is more my speed. But yeah, man, thank you for being on the pod, and
thank you for having me.
Absolutely, thank you, and thank you for the kind words.
Least I could do. Good people deserve good things.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, what a guy. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll see you next time, next week on the PowWow. We'll see what happens. Shout out to Deuces. Shout out to Gravel Bear. He just announced an event. So huge shout out to him. Shout out to Deuces for dropping the Art of series with the Art of Interactive Retail, which is the store here, native on the levee. Interactive retail is very close to my heart. It is something I, am very passionate about, and we've worked very hard to bring this interactive retail experience to Newport on the Levee, and we're ready to see what happens next. So thank you for experiencing the store. If you haven't, come down to Newport on the Levee, come down into the gallery area, and there's a place for kids to hang out, the Lego, which is the brickery. You can rent Legos. We got Little Spoon. We got Jay Salandino to sell shoes. We got Leaf and Limb. We got Pink Moon. We got all sorts of businesses down here. Come down, check it out. And Bon Me's down here. We got everyone doing their thing. Wooden Cask. Just come down, check out Newport on the Levee, the new levee. We're doing our thing here at Native on the Levee. So that's it.
We'll see you in the next podcast.
Yeah.
You guys have a great night.
Yeah,
Appreciate
you
you, every single one of you guys.
Yes. Woo-wee. All right. Appreciate y'all. Oh, losing my mic. We out here, though. Later.